Oh, I'm supposed to be wearing this. There we go. I'm all mic'd up. Waiting for the live stream to kick in. Are we having trouble with the YouTube end? Okay. All right. Honestly, at this point, I'd expect nothing less from YouTube than to resist. Hey guys, I'm Yvonne with Back to Earth Creations, and welcome to today's Scale Mail Weave-athon. We are going to be weaving. On Friday, Randy had prepared me like a literal pound of aluminum 16 gauge 5/16 inch rings, and I'm going to be weaving those into a scale mail top. Well, this isn't, it's just the loose scales, but we'll get there. And I actually, y'all would be so proud of me perhaps, got some lighting set up for today as well. So do feel free, and if you're watching this in the replay, still feel free to like leave comments and stuff. I do try to answer all the comments that we get. I'm chronically behind, but I'm working on it. There we go. Now we got that up and working. Be sure to tickle our like button if you're over on YouTube. It helps the algorithm to know. I mean, of course, only if you're liking the stream, but it does the channel a huge favor, allegedly. So we'll see how that goes. Let me get everybody's comments and stuff pulled up. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're having trouble, like you're not enjoying the YouTube ads, and if you're having any lag with the stream, we are also streaming over on Kick. So let's get to it. Oh, hey Saki girl. She says, yep, I got the newsletter. Oh, okay, right on. Hey little sprite, how are you doing? Hey T-Maid, good afternoon to you too. Coffee with Dragon says, is it supposed to be on YouTube too? I got the notification through email and sent me here, but I follow you there, so I had to sign up for this. Oh goodness. Well, thank you for signing up for Kick. Yeah, it's we're just trying our best, and this is how it played out today. So hey Michelle, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty good today. Hey Hawk. It has been a very busy day. And poor Randy has just been wrangling me really well, but I've been like kind of snarling and frazzled and like trying to get everything done. But First Man Jewelry says, what newsletter? Hey First Man, how's it going? The newsletter that we send out, you can sign up for it at our website, backtoearthcreations.com. It's free. Oh, hey Shannon, hey Julia, hey Divine Spark. How are all of y'all doing today? So today I am here to weave a scale mail top, but also if y'all have any questions about February's craft along project, which was the stretchy scale mail like bracelet that you could also or make a necklace out of too. So if you guys, by now you should have gotten your kits. We're a little late on shipping from last week because we got like 10 inches of snow. But we'll be shipping out everybody's packages tomorrow, but everybody else should have gotten theirs by now. And if you have any questions about your package, you can check the tracking info that we email out whenever we ship stuff, or you can send us an email if you haven't gotten one of those, if you're curious, and we'll do our best to answer any questions that you have. Hey David, how are you doing today? So these are the large scales, anodized aluminum from theringlord.com. But the technique remains the same if you're using plain old jump rings. I don't care for weaving with split rings. I'm going to be honest with you, because this is what the split rings look like. So you can see they're just miniature key rings, really. So I've woven enough scale mail with split rings to know that I really don't like it. And I mean, if I were making like legit armor or something, which I wouldn't be using aluminum scales for that, but if I were doing like LARP and it needed something like around the armholes or around the neck hole or like maybe like the hem, then I would use, it would feel worth it to do the split rings. But I do not feel like I needed the split rings all through the inside of this, because this was going to be like a Ooh, Shannon says, I started my subscription mid-month. Okay, we might not have shipped yours yet. Typically, if you, like, we ship every Tuesday. So if you sign up after a Tuesday, we'll be shipping it the following Tuesday. So I'm sorry about that, but it's the weather was, our helper wasn't able to make it, and it was just, everything was a mess. We were trying to keep our pipes from freezing, and then they froze, and it's, but that's, I'm not trying to make excuses. We just had a lot going on. But yeah, so this is, oh, I do love it though. I love these. These are the small scales. So these are the 1-inch scales, and these are the 2-inch. You can see side by side. Oh, right on. I don't know why Otto gave my business name here. Right on. Well, it's shameless self-promotion too, so that way folks can look up your business. Ooh, hey, wild child. How are you doing today? Right on. How are you? We're doing really well, wild child. How have you been? Hey, Al. Hey, Hannah. How are y'all doing? Okay, so now that we've looked at, that's the split rings. So other than messing about with split rings, I like to just use the butted, and that's where we're just going to be buttoning the ends of them up together. 16 gauge 5/16 inch for this size ring, or this size scale rather, sorry. So we're going to be starting off with 2 scales, convex or concave sides together. The pokey inny sides are facing each other. The pokey outy sides are on the outside. And I'm going to close it. Whoop. My depth perception today. And so whenever you open it like a book, it'll be like that. First man asks, why do you not like the split rings versus the other one? It is, it is so much work and such headache. And I did it this many times, and I never found, for me, a rhythm for like just going. Whereas with the scale mail like this, it becomes meditative, and I go like full Zen mode. With split rings, it is rage and frustration and sadness for every single one of these things. So yeah. So that's why I don't like the split rings. Now, it's badass, and this is probably the highest quality made thing I've ever made, because I don't imagine it breaking unless actual metal is torn asunder. But it's not worth the workload to me. What is worth the workload is, like I had mentioned earlier, for like edge finishing, I might do like 2 or 3 rows of the split rings around the edges, that would be bearing strain like armholes or neck holes or hems on the scale mail, like a LARP armor. And I feel like that would meet the balance between quality and endurance of the piece that we're making, and amount of work, and consequently how much we're going to have to charge for the piece. So like, if that makes sense. I just wanted to say hi, going back to bed, been really sick all day. Oh no, Hawk. Well, I appreciate you coming in to say, hey, I hope you get to feeling better. Rage and frustration, not what one wants, and one's craft and art making experience. Yeah, no. No. All right, so we did those 2 pieces. And also, this is just how I weave scale mail. My niece Maddie weaves very good scale mail and does it backwards from me. And Randy doesn't like either way of weaving. Like, he likes weaving strips, which is a little different than this. He can do that all day. But he doesn't like weaving them in tops like how we're doing. So now from here, I'm picking up like this. Got 1 scale and then the 2 scale. I've hooked a ring through it, and now I'm going to hook the scale again, making sure that their bellies are facing each other. And then I'm going to close that. And so now, hey, Algold Prospecting, how have you been? Feel like it's been ages. And so now we have the 3 scales like this. And I like to place them so that the end with the hole is towards me and the tips are facing away. And then I'm just going to layer these 2 on top of each other. If you're familiar with a chainmail European 4-in-1, this is very similar in the way that the grain that it's going to lay. Hey Vaughn. Oh, hey Cat and Cauldron, how are you? Thank you for the email. Tucson was a little disappointing. Oh no, however, I sent a photo of some of the things I did find. Right on. Was it just not as much selection, or were the prices like through the roof? Because that's at the last Gem and Mineral show, we were kind of like, I guess rocks went up in price, but oof. I definitely need to order some scales from them. I've been meaning to, but haven't gotten around to it yet. Yeah, I really like the Ring Lord scales, and their customer service is very good. So if you ever get something and you're not pleased with it, like, they hook you right up. Hey Brooke, how's it going? Al says working on agate fishing lures. I didn't know you could use rocks for fishing lures. So now that we're in this shape, I'm gonna risk zooming in just a smidge. And my husband went through, he spoils me. He opened all of these rings, you guys. So now I get to just weave. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty. And I still bought some. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be, again, I always keep the bellies towards me. And so I hook through like that. And I set it on my work surface, and then I just hook this scale on like that. Now, I'm having today's not a good word day, so I'm having a hard time describing this, but hopefully just watching it helps. And if you have any questions, that would be really helpful to me to be able to answer. Wild Childs is what a guy. I know. He is a good egg. And so I just hook through. I really like my bent nose pliers for these because it helps me to get in at an angle that I need to. So I'm just hooking through and popping that on. Now also, before someone's mean to me in the comments, this is not a tutorial. I'm just kind of demonstrating, and hopefully if you have questions, I'll be able to demonstrate like an explanation to that. But this is not an in-depth tutorial. I'm here to get some work done and chit chat with y'all. There is a tutorial for this design. It's our scale mail breastplate. Then we also have like 2 or 3 other scale mail weaving tutorials, as well as our February craft along project tutorial. So if you're looking for a tutorial, this might not be the video for you, but I just wanted to let you know, so that you know what you're getting into. How strong are those metal rings? I need somebody. These ones are okay. Some, not somebody. Right on. They're okay. If I needed something for any kind of real structure, because this is a decorative breastplate for like wearing over like a bikini top in a swimming pool. So these hold up well enough for that. But if I were doing a top for someone who was wearing it for like combat armor or something, like LARPing or otherwise, I would definitely use stainless steel instead. But the pros and cons are, more often than not, we sell to cosplayers more than LARPers. And we like, this is part of our sales pitch. So we let people know whenever it's like, this is not armor grade. But if they really want that, we do custom, but it also costs more because that stainless steel is another beast. And it's quite heavy, once you have all the rings on there. But yeah, if I were doing anything that needed any structure at all, I'd be, beyond this, I'd be using stainless steel. Hey Itzy, how are you doing today? Cat and Cauldron said, last year was bad for most of the vendors I talked to. Really? The uncertainty has lots of them discouraged. Okay. Shipping things from Brazil or other faraway countries is super expensive. Dude, we paid like almost $200 in shipping on a batch of like clothing blanks for our tie-dye. In prep, we're already prepping for Dragon Con in September. but I was like, ooh, because, ooh, but that's, I mean, Randy and I are having to charge more on our shipping prices too, so it is what it is. But shipping things from Brazil or other faraway countries is super expensive. So I started looking for vendors who have warehouses in Los Angeles, and I found some. Oh, that's awesome, Cat and Cauldron. Great, thanks. I'm glad the notification on time. How are you? Oh, right on. I'm doing really well today. We are just chugging right along. I was all caught up in being like fussy and like frustrated, and I was trying really hard to like get everything that I needed done, but I was so frustrated that I was being counterproductive, which was just making me even more frustrated with myself. So Randy, being his amazing self, came around the corner and like he already had his shirt off, but he was wearing like his house shirt underneath it. But he takes his shirt and he starts doing that like Toro, Toro. And it was just enough to like crack me out of my grumpiness. And so then I had to go and aggressively give him smooches. But we figured it out. So my day has just been getting better and better. Right on. Oh, hey Mirth, how are you doing today? And then, Nicole says, oh, hey, Brenda. Nicole says, Vaughn, I've had a lot of people asking about kits for wire wrapping lately, and I've been sending them your way. I don't know a lot of other makers that sell kits, so that's cool. Right on. Well, fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, we are starting to get into doing where, like, February's kit was for scale mail, which, shameless self-promotion, you can still get your February kit. So we sell those right up until the last day of the month. And we have them as single time purchase kits, as well as, the subscription, where whatever day of the month that you sign up on, whatever Tuesday comes after that will be the day that we ship out to you every month. So that way, if you'd rather have it at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, now you know that you can affect that by when you sign up. But February's kit was stretchy scale mail for like bracelets, and then we also showed how to make like a scale mail necklace. Which, by the way, y'all, we have a shop update that got posted yesterday. So all of our Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members will have been among the first ones to have gotten a notification about that, along with their 20% off coupon. But now y'all they get first dibs because they give us $1. But I'm not certain. I think we made like one sale though. So there's still just about everything is still up there. And I'll be showing y'all kind of QVC style here in a little bit. So if you want to take a pop over to the website, and if you see anything that you're like, I want a closer look at that, or how does that look from the back? Now is the time. Scale mail is way out of my comfort zone. I'm excited to try it. Well, it's tricky, but you'll get it. I really believe that you will. Love the short with your new purple poi. Thank you. I've been posting on the Vonster vlog channel, our poi and hoop spinning adventures, and I also started a TikTok for the Vonster vlog, where I post not the baby steps and like my adventures into weight loss and fitness and stuff, but just the flow stuff over onto TikTok. So, but thank you. I'm glad that tickles me. Michelle says, yeah, that would get me out of my funk too. But he always knows how to make me laugh. And it's hard to have a bad day when we're giggling our way through it. But yeah, I'm gonna weave basically until my hand hurts, and then I'll show you all the jewelry. Ooh, Cat and Cauldron says, I somehow magically got myself signed up to see all your videos. Right on. There we go. And so what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing just one side of the ring and the other, and then wiggling them until I hear a little click. Do y'all want Well, it's too bad it's happening, but I'm still going to ask, do y'all want some chainmail clicking ASMR? This might be really tinny and horrible, so I'm only going to do it for like a couple of minutes. But here we go. I'm going to try it. Okay. And so I'm going to pick up a ring. Oh no, Julia says, so the kit I got did not have scale mail in it. It was 2 cabs and an amethyst point pendant. Oh no. Well, our $15 kits are just our cab kits. And then, but if it was a 25 or higher, then it should have had the scale mail. And we have a breakdown of that in the beginning of the February Craft Along project video earlier in the month. Oh, gotcha, Michelle. Thank you for letting me know. Oh no, did it freeze? Sounds like a crab. Crab people. Crab people. Leaving scale mail. Oh, gotcha, Taya. Oh no. Michelle says, just got Randy. Just got kicked off Kick. My husband can make me laugh and get me out of a funky mood too. That's like, Hi, Danson says, how cool is scale mail? I love it. It's like belly dance costumes 401. I don't know what the 401 is, but yes, I love it. That's actually the making belly dance belts and things. Oh, baby, thank you. That's a big box.
You know what it is?
Is it puppy pads?
It is.
Nice. Sorry, I just like watching him. Yeah, no worries, Julia. But part of what got me into weaving scale mail and chain mail and even leatherworking was to make belly dance costumes. What do y'all think? Is that enough of that, or do you want me to keep going with my crab clacking? Tinkle dinkle. But yeah, okay, I'm going to do one more row where I go past because you'll be able to hear the click of the chainmail ring. Oh, I really exaggerated that one for your benefit, hopefully. Ooh, a change purse. What's up, baby? What's going on? He's making faces. No, I don't want to sniff it. No. Wait, what's that?
I don't know.
I don't know if I liked that or disliked it. Can I sniff it again?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, Cat and Cauldron says, hey, Wendy. Ooh, Cheryl says, I sent an email about wire I can use. 16 gauge is too hard on hands. Okay, you may want to go with an 18 or 20 gauge even, or possibly going with an aluminum wire if you want that thicker look, but the 16 gauge is just too tricky. Those would be my recommendations. Now, I would go for the Bead on a Wire brand aluminum wire wrapping wire.
Delivery dude hot box?
I mean,
like, these don't smell like it now. It's just a box.
It's a possibility, babe. Okay, so I'm going to mic back up because whenever I think about it too hard, I can hear the, I can feel the aluminum clinking together in my teeth. So I don't want to be torturing anyone. Aw, Itzy says my cat is laying next to me snoring. Sweet kitty. I just remembered, I was this many days old, that I can do pop-out chat. I'm so professional. I'm not, though, is the thing. I have to get sorted to make items for Pagan Festival in October. Ooh, I want to create but not clean up the space first. Gotta clean up the space first to work in. That is very valid. Ooh, Mirth says, I love weaving scale, but have trouble shaping it into something. That can be really tricky. I'm sorry for the delay on that. I'm getting to your comment. It can be really tricky. My favorite way whenever I want, oh my God, Brissy girl, how's it going? My favorite thing for weaving scale mail is primarily to think of it as like a decorative drape. So if I want any support or structure, I like for a bra, I would have a base bra that we then just sewed the scale mail to. That way I don't have to do complicated darts or anything that interferes with the nice lay of the scales. But that's my preference. Because a lot of the time too, like the concept of like, oh my God, a scale mail top sounds super cute. Except for when you, like, I used to get really hyper focused on I've got to make the whole thing out of chainmail or the whole thing out of scale mail. But this tender underarm area, like if you're wearing like a top and you're dancing or you're working your booth or you're just enjoying yourself wearing your scale mail top, that really starts to like chafe after a while. So there's a time and a place for different materials in costuming. Like with not, it's not always the time or place to be using a silk chiffon. It's not always the time or place to be using an armor grade leather. It's not always the place under the armpits and stuff to be doing scale mail. So I think the best effects for scale mail are achieved through layering. So I hope that that's helpful to you. Parawire and aluminum will work for all other jewelry. It can. I would recommend to contact Parawire and see if you can get samples of their aluminum and test. I would recommend a 16, 18, and 20 gauge. I don't think I would use aluminum for like doing the intricate weaving on like a wire wrapped woven piece that has like those little inlay patterns. I would not use aluminum for the edge of this because I want there to be like structure to it. I would use aluminum for the core wires on this piece. That's the silver ones. But then I would use just Parawire in copper to be these weaving wires, the smaller, finer details. And this chainmail here is actually woven from stainless steel, so never mind. But I was hoping to be able to show you this one here, the thick core wire. I used a 16 gauge copper core. You could have used a 16 gauge aluminum for that. You mostly just want to be careful because it's not it. You might want to hammer it a bit, so maybe go with a 14 gauge and hammer. But yeah, it's if there's a crafter, there's a way. And if the wire is too hard on your hands, just try a different wire. Hey Lisa, hey Tish, how's it going? I love thick aluminum wire. 14 gauge from what you taught me over the years is my favorite, but not 14 gauge in copper. Gotcha. Nicole says, I have got to make some simple filler things for the show I'm prepping for, but I'm also annoyed because they still take so long and price is weird and I'm tired. Nicole, I challenge you to make a filler thing while we're hanging out in today's stream. If you're at work and you can't, I get that. But like, just do the thing. Do the thing. Do the thing. It's like what it works on me sometimes because I'm a simple soup-brained creature. Is I won't want to, and then I'll just like inner Vaughn will be like, "Come on, just do it," and I'll be like, "Come on," and then I'll be like, "Okay," and then I'll just do the thing. It just takes so much off my mind because then I'm like, "Oh, I need to do this thing. Oh, I need to do this thing." Every time I think that thought, I'm having that stress. If I just did the thing 5 thoughts ago, I'd have saved myself all that stress. I'll just do the cleanup thing. Yeah, just do the thing. Ooh, now they really do look blue on camera, don't they? They're purple, I promise. Like, They look blue. They're the Ring Lord's purple scales, but never been able to get good results with aluminum. Right on. And it can be tricky. It's like how if you go from copper to sterling silver, there's some learning curve. Not all things translate in exactly the same way. So going into aluminum, not all things translate in the exact same way. I have to be really careful with aluminum, especially the thicker stuff, because I'm so like crab-handed. Like I just death grip stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm building this up to 10 scales across. And then that's where I start to like kind of taper down. And this is our mid-size top. So like it's like a medium. And we sized our scale mill breastplates purely off of square inches of coverage. So we recommend to folks to wear like either some Under Armour like athletic gear that like will keep the scales from rubbing against your skin, or like a support and structure bra underneath, just to, again, chafing. Like, hey mommy, how's it going? Aluminum is great, but not for setting cabs or other non-drilled stones. It won't last and customers will come visit you again grumpy. That's a good point. But if it's something with like a hole drilled through it, or if I like using the thicker aluminum for like the core of doing a coiling as well, because it might still stay quite supple. Yeah, Brooke says I have to use that tool magic stuff on all my pliers or I leave marks on all my wire. Yeah, so, but again, the obstacle is the way. It's not a reason why it won't work. It's just a reason why it's not currently working. And so we just craft our way around it. And, sometimes we have to choose our battles. But if there's a crafter, there's a way. Oh, well, thanks, Michelle. Let me get done with this row and I'll be able to flip it over for you guys. And that way you can see how because this is the inside. We're looking at like the underside right now. I'm doing really well today. Thank you for asking. Hey, Dark Cat. I don't know if I greeted you when you came in. Yes, Cat and Cauldron says, then the fun thing flows naturally. Yeah, that's how I trick myself whenever it's like I'm really stressed out and I want to just like jam and like hoop dance or spin poi, but I'm like too stressed out to like be enjoying myself. I just make myself do drills. And it's like, because I can't not be happy after a little while of hula hooping. It just improves my mood. And so if I do my drills, then it's like I'll set a timer and it's like 30 seconds, this move in that direction, beep, 30 seconds, this move in the other direction, beep. And I make sure to have some like tunes on, like catchy tunes, whatever I'm into that day. And before you know it, I go from being like a grumpy workaholic to actually having fun, and like laughing and like being chill, and nothing's changed except for my mind, like my mindset. Okay. But the thing is, you just got to do the thing. You got to break the seal. Oh, hey, Cheryl. Oh my God, that's so kind. She says, I enjoy watching you. I learned so much from you. You are amazing. Well, shucks. Well, thank you for being here. I'm glad you enjoy what we do. But yes, you can kind of start to see, like we've literally, y'all, we do all sorts. We used to do all sorts of custom work, but we've made bras about like if I had stopped here and started doing the taper down, we've done. So that's why we charge by like the square inch on the coverage. But I like to bring it up to about 10 inches and then we'll taper it back down. And that's the size that we use for both our buffering. That's the size that we use for both our shoulder pauldrons and our medium-sized bikini tops. We'll just do 2 of those like diamond shapes linked together in the center. And then whenever we do our breastplate, we do 10 across, 10 across, and then we fill in the gap in the center. And so that's quite a bit more work, but it looks so cool. Al says, I wish I was as comfortable with doing scale mail as you are. Dude. So much work over the years. Like we got to where I would weave our scale tops in the car, because whenever we were doing conventions full time, I had this like lap desk, and I would set it up like sitting there in the passenger seat, because just about every Thursday and Sunday or Monday we were driving to get to wherever we were going. And by we I mean Randy. He does all of our driving. He's so good. But and I would sit there in the passenger seat, and I could get like, it takes me about 4 hours to weave a breastplate when I'm like maximum speed, but I could get like a whole nother breastplate woven on the way there, and then I would finish it up in the booth. Like, I had so much fun doing all that crafting though. Like, it was so nice to just kind of ride shotgun and watch the scenery go by and listen to our books on tape or music, and just craft like in the car. Like, ooh, Michelle says, I just bought myself a one-step looper. I am happy. Nice. I never could quite get the hang of those to where I enjoyed them, but lots of folks have, so I hope it works out for you. So my production goals for leading up to Dragon Con this year, because in my mind, we can only make as much money as what we have stuff to sell. And we typically only sell like a tenth of our like inventory. So it's like, if I want to make $1,000, I need to bring $10,000 worth of stuff, is how it works in my mind. So my goals for Dragon, specifically pertaining to our scale mail, is I would like to have 2 breastplates, 2 shoulder pauldron sets, and 2 of our scale mail bikinis in each solid base color. Whew, that's going to be a lot, because I can only really count on getting 1 scale mail piece made per week, and even that's going to be really challenging, but I bet I can do it. Like, I bet if I apply myself, I'll be surprised at what I can pull off. Because the time is in the day. I'll just have to be more diligent about not wasting time scrolling on TikTok. This stuff is such a time sucker. So I'll just watch TikTok compilation videos on YouTube. That way I don't have to be holding the phone and touching the screen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're on our last row, but I like to keep whichever row I did most recently up on top. Oh no. Like, I tried to do a bunch 2 years ago, and I was still working part-time, and I just about drove myself into the ground. No, yeah, I'm really glad Randy and I did that in our 20s when we could manage it, because like now it's like, if I don't get a solid night's sleep, I'm basically useless the next day. Like, so it's just, I don't know that we could, like, whenever we go and do stuff now, we'll splurge and spend an extra hotel night to break the drive up, because I don't want us to die at the wheel, basically. And we've had enough truck drivers in the family, and we've been on the road long enough to know that that's, anybody can fall asleep behind the wheel, and it is so dangerous. And the more time we spend out on the road at the odd hours that we were spending them, we were pretty sure we were going to die in a car wreck from somebody, either us or somebody else falling asleep. So that really wore on us. And I think that was the hardest part. Okay, I just did a chainmail pauldron. Right on, Al. I guess the more well-endowed women pay more for the tops. Not always necessarily. Sometimes You don't, sometimes more is less and less is more. I don't know. It's micro candies. They're fun. So, oh, well, thank you first, man. I've never tried scale mail and I've never managed to get past around an inch of chain mail. It's not for everybody. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, y'all ready for some shameless self-promotion? See, these are some of the items that we've added to our website, back to earthcreations.com. And this is an aluminum woven Celtic star on a machine woven stainless steel spiral chain. And this is one of those Panda Hall chains, you guys. They're really high quality. I'm very, very pleased with them. Nicole says, yeah, I'm turning 37 later this year, and I'm learning that maybe I don't feel like I'm old yet, but I'm not really young anymore. Things hurt that never did before, and my energy is lower. Yeah, same. So it's, I'm going to be 37. I was born in 88. You do the math. I'm going to be like 37, I think, this year. And like, I'm so glad we've got a decent chair for sitting in, because used to we were like, we have to be on our feet and greeting people. We got those director camping chairs that fold down so that we can just stay sitting until they need us to be standing. And then we also use gaffer's tape to secure the squish mats to the ground so that we have our squish mats. We wear shoes that are supportive. We wear our super sexy compression socks. And it's just like, it's like we're not able to do it, but taking care of ourselves while we're pushing ourselves has become critical. So it's right on. Nicole says I was born in 88 too, September. Right on. But no, and it's just like, because it takes me longer to bounce back, and it's so we don't plan events back to back anymore, and that's okay. The obstacle is the way. So this is a stainless steel half Persian 3-in-1 bezel with a beautiful natural amethyst. But we feel it is very worth the investment to pay somebody to help us. Not for setup and teardown, because Randy and I can still do that, no problem, but just having more people in the booth, especially when we have our 10 by 20 set up. We just need 4 people to run that kind of frontage to cut down on theft, and to, it's like having 4 fishing lines in the river instead of just 2. And then we get to see our friend, well, their family too, but our friends, Maddie and Amy. She my niece and she my sister-in-law, but oh, that's such a pretty labradorite. The pictures don't do this one justice, but this is one of our groovy wrapped labradorites. And so if something's too hard to be doable, find a way to carve it down into bite-sized pieces. So this is one of our, if it's in your heart to do it. Because sometimes if whenever I'm trying something new and the first inconvenience is enough to make me kind of not want to do it anymore, that's a really good sign that I shouldn't push in super deep. Because if I didn't really get excited about going and vending, and if it wasn't like really in my heart to want to go do it, whenever I'm thinking about it from the convenience of my home, I'm really not going to want to be there when we're broken down at the side of the road on the way to an event, that we paid way more than what I wanted to attend, and the hotel was expensive and everything's blah, blah, blah. Then if I didn't want to be there when I was just fantasizing about it, I'm not going to want to be there when it's terrible. And so it's okay to not want to vend. It's okay to not want to sell your stuff. It's okay to, not want to have to do the social media aspect of something. And this is me speaking to me just as much as y'all on this, but maybe if you really don't get excited about a part of that, maybe don't make it a super big part of your business. Woo! I really like this one. That cotton candy dyed quartz with a little wrap. Oh, Tish. Oh no, that was polymer clay. I'm sorry. It's a huge compliment that you thought it looked like gas. glass. This is polymer clay with UV resin on it and a quartz crystal. And it glows in the dark. I don't know if we can get it to glow, but I'm going to try. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to. It needs like the real sunshine. The Renaissance. Ooh, okay. The 70s, and I still perform at 2 Ren fairs each year. Oh, Julia, really? What kind of performance do you do? If you have a UV flashlight, it'll glow. Right on. Oh, Asaki Girl says, love the mushroom. Nicole says, like, I enjoy vending. I really do. My back doesn't like all the lifting and moving and such, but I actually really enjoy the vending and socializing. It may be an idea that, like, if you are friends with somebody who vends at local art fairs or local conventions or wherever it is that you like vending at, if you might think about assisting with sales in their booth and like working, I don't know, because subletting, it depends on the convention. But so that's kind of, I retract that advice because it can get really tricky. And, you know, but what I would advise is when we first started out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whenever we first started out, I'm just going to show you the first row and then I'm going to get back to weaving. It was the Lincoln County Art League had like refurbished this church that had been donated to the Art League and turned it into this gallery where people could volunteer and like have their work in there, but not everybody had to be in their booth for it to be open and like making sales. And they put on the Host of Christmas Past, which was one of our very first vending events. And so it was like $30 to join for like the whole year. And you had to be a member to have a booth. And then it was like $50 for the booth, maybe, or like 5. I don't know. It was ridiculously reasonable. And then this is an aluminum half Persian 3-in-1 on a natural rose quartz, which I love. But we could put our things in like a little pegboard gallery style display, whether it was some folks had photography. There was one lady who did beautiful gourd art. There is our stuff that was much less, I mean, we still have a ways to go on a lot of our techniques, but we were much less refined back then. And it still, they were very happy to have us. We had some of our wood burning out there. And it was like, and if you were a member, like they took a very small percentage of the sale fee, usually because we were using the Knuckle Buster card, like that did the carbon copy of the credit card, and then we'd have to call them in at the end of the business day. Like, Sorry, I'm lost in my memories. That was such a really nice time. But yeah, but you might be able to participate in something like that, or in different art galleries where you can go and volunteer the things that you do enjoy and contribute your artwork to their venue, which if Randy and I were to ever do something like that, we would totally, like if we ever had like a bead shop or something, I would totally want as many cool artists as possible because it makes it that much more of a fun of an event to come to. I tried it last year, unfortunately did not turn out great. Oh no, I'd probably be a little wary of trying to team vend with someone again, but I'm open to it. Yeah. No, as soon as I started thinking about it, I was like, this has never actually played out well for me. So oh, right on, Julia. Birds of Prey! That is so cool. Yeah. Has to eat or pass on the vendors. Oh my gosh. Yeah, vending booth prices are something else. Hey, Randy. Could you bring me a Lunchable and a coffee, please? Thank you, baby. I'm going to be taking the microphone off just to get a little farther from my face because I'm going to eat my Lunchable. 6, 7, 8, 9. Like there was, I can't remember the name, but it was where one of our friends volunteered their time and did basically what I've described in Sparta, Tennessee. And it was just so cool because it was like a potter owned the place or owned the business and had like other people's artwork and stuff in there, but his pottery studio was like directly attached. And I was like, man, this is like the way to do it. Like, that is so cool. Things got weird throughout the year. I definitely don't want to have that experience again. Yeah. Well, it gets real tricky whenever it's like we room with vendor buddies, but we do not share a booth with them. So we're sharing the same cost, for like splitting the hotel room and stuff. But it's I get a little prickly, if somebody is like a guest in my booth, and like if we're not splitting stuff clean 50-50, or it's, you never know how something, whenever a show's not going well, might rub each other the wrong way. And it's like, they're not responsible for my poor reactions, but I also don't want to put someone who's close to me in the position to have me be like not happy for them that they're making a sale. Like, I don't like sitting there and feeling like that could have been one of my pieces if I had the whole booth to myself. Whereas I don't feel that whenever they're in the booth right next to me, but they paid for their 10 by 10 spot. Well, thank you, baby. And I paid for mine. And it's like, so having that clean fence really helps me to be a better version of myself. And I had to learn that the hard way. So it's like, yeah. So I have so much jewelry, it takes me 3 hours minimum to set up. Unless I just throw everything in a bag, it takes 2 hours to tear down. Oh my goodness. We ran into that quite a bit, and we got some really good advice from some other folks who, they did like Legos, like, I don't know if it was custom Legos or just like collectibles, but they were like, if there's anything that you can leave on the display safely, and they showed us they had even designed some of their displays to where it was like a pendant tray that had each of the little like Lego people in them. And I was like, replace those Lego people with pendants and this is perfect. But you could leave the pendants in there and they would stack and go into like a cardboard box. And that way you have all of that stuff there, but you're not having to hang it out on there. Like we do that with our earrings. All stay on the display. The finger rings all stay in their display. The ear cuffs all stay in their display. And then it still takes us 2 days to set up. But we can get torn down in about 5 hours when we have our, like 5 or 6 hours when we have like our grid wall and stuff. But, so it's still going to take a while, but there might be, or on another floor, right? But you know what, like, hey, that's my friend I was talking about, that we like room with each other and stuff, and it works out great. But it's like, I don't, after rooming with other vendor buddies and sharing a booth with them, so I didn't have any opportunity to like kind of complain about them. But it was just, no, I've got no complaints with World of Strange. They're phenomenal. But I've accidentally been my worst self and ruined friendships in the past beyond the point of being redeemable, because I didn't know how to handle myself feeling like resentful. And then, but they also, the friends in, oh baby, he just brought me coffee. Thank you, honey. How long did you nuke it?
For a minute.
Can you put it in for another 1.5 minutes for me? I want it to burn me. Thank you, baby. He goes, mm-hmm. But no, it's, she says, we're psycho. I miss you guys so much. But, yeah, but what is your footage? Or is it like a 10 by 20 or larger? Yeah, it's a 10 by 20. Which Randy's like, I wouldn't mind us doing more shows, but we've really got to scale down, because, and so I was like, yeah, we might go back to doing just a 10 by 10. But I didn't know how to handle the resentment that I felt towards, they weren't paying for half the booth. I don't know. I'm still processing the things that I learned from that, and it was over a decade ago. Hey, Triquetra, how's it going? And you can get torn down in 2 hours if your friends are pushing you out the door. Oh, technically, yes. Now that worked out, though. But I'm always looking for ways to make booth tear down easier and to make setup easier. Nothing as smell as your partner bringing you coffee. That's what I'm trying to figure out for this year. I'm doing wire wrapping now too. So much new things going on. Right on. Falcon's Court will be at Anime Las Vegas on the end of March. Ooh, right on. Oh, thanks, Tish. I had a friend like that, and she would take the majority of the booth. Yeah, and then they were all like, "You took my design," and I was like, "I'm sorry, you showed me how to make it. I presumed that I could. I presumed was my problem that I could make it and have it out at shows that we weren't together at." And they were like, and then they blatantly ripped off one of our designs, and I was like, like, I don't know how to talk to people or anything. And so it's like, if I had just talked about it whenever I felt the sour feeling, it wouldn't have festered and we'd have figured it out. But I didn't talk about it, and that was my bad. So smexy, not smell. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, okay. Hey, Esoterica, how's it going? Being able to have your own space to decompress after a day of vending is so key. Yeah, and we're really lucky. Like, I didn't realize how lucky we were, actually, to make friends with the folks at World of Strange, because they're basically my family. Like, I love them like that. Like, I fart around them and everything. So they might not like it as much, but is I'm able, hanging out with them is decompressing. Like, if that makes sense. Like, it's just, so sometimes it's super worth taking the risk, because sometimes you get the best friends you've ever had, and sometimes you ruin the friendship, but you never know. Do you have any recommendations on a good pop-up canopy? My favorite is the one from Sam's Club. It's the easy up. It's not overly complicated. I can do it even when my thumbs hurt, and it's like expensive, but it's held up through every outdoor vending and camping trip we've taken it on for like a decade. So, all right, taking the microphone off because I'm going to eat my Lunchable. Can you all still hear me from over there? Chill day weaving a teal and gold necklace. Nice. What weave are you doing today? We have some Members Mark smoked turkey. I'm not a paid sponsor from Sam's Club. Mm. But you can't hear me eating my turkey. And we've got some cheddar and some. Ooh, you want blueberry, baby? Yes, you want a blueberry. And some nuts. Okay, cool. I'm like super self-conscious. I don't want you guys to be hearing my like wet macaroni eating noises. Right on. Oh wow, you can put it up by yourself. Trickrutcha says, depending on your budget, the tent I got is amazing. It's the Crown Shades brand. It was $135 on Amazon, and it comes with one of the. Let me see. One of the walls with it. Right on. Yeah, I really like the ones like you can buy and add them to your tent, but the wrap around like zipper upper like walls is really nice. My fingers taste like aluminum. I'm gonna be right back. I should have washed my hands. I'll be back, you guys. Z. Alrighty, y'all, I am back. Piping hot coffee in hand. Ooh, and I have washed hands and toothpicks. Nom nom. Oh, Michelle, what happened to your puppy? Has a sore foot. Oh, that's really nice. Organization, especially in an outdoor show where it might be windy, is like so important because you don't realize how much loose stuff you have in your booth until it starts getting blown around. Absolutely love turkey and blueberries together. Oh no. So I'm just here reading chat, eating blueberries off of toothpicks. Don't mind me. Oh yeah, for sure. Cat and Cauldron says the easy up is great. Paying a little more upfront for a quality pop up that will last for years is key. 185 over 10 years is 1850. A year and you can expenses on your taxes or depreciate it if you have a tax person or a brain who knows how to do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Wizarding, how are you? Gotcha. Sorry. I'm watching you clean, Michelle. Wizarding Arts says also be sure to investigate waterproofness. A sunshade is not, and that is super important. Um, thank you. That's like mm-mm-mm. Okay. I'm gonna get back to weaving. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna do one more. And now we're going to begin the decrease. There we go. And I kind of want to... Oh, I'll just pin it to my shirt. I hope I'm not eating in your ear too loud. Z-Dog, my good boy. All right. So we're going to do we're going to start tapering down now. And so we just did 10 scales. And I like to we're adding a new scale basically in between. Don't eat that. There it is. Good boy not to eat it. It's just a scale. You don't want that. So there we have our 9 more scales. And now instead of adding one on the end and hooking on our new scale, hooking through, hooking on. Gotta get back to printing. We'll check in later. Bye, World is Strange. We love y'all. Are them the scales that you made the other day? I'm not sure what you mean. I got these from the Ring Lord. Randy says he doesn't think they're the same scales. Triquetress says, I love how the scales sound. I can't wait until I can afford to try and make some tops. Oh, that'd be cool. I'm not gonna lie, I was looking at their tiny scales, like they've got some wee bitty ones, and I really want to start making like Barbie armor. Like, I've got this desire in my heart. I should just go ahead and do it. But it's really hard to. I'm having a difficult time allowing myself to do projects for fun, and that's exactly what I need to be doing. Um, so my next for fun project is I want to make like a a barbarian um with like scale mail and chain mail, and if I could find a Barbie that like sits on a horse, because I want to make the little horse armor as well. Oh geez, Nicole, that's rough. And it's like, and I caught myself because Randy had sent me a meme, and it was of somebody making like a barbarian Barbie, and I had that idea, and I was like, man, now I feel like I can't. And I was like, I need to hold up. We are 100% in the age of people are literally like not ripping each other off, but like making the exact same videos as each other on TikTok. Like, does that make sense? Like, used to it was pre TikTok on Instagram, if you made something that was like somebody else's, like they'd like lay a freaking egg and like uh get kind of ugly about it. Whereas now it's like, oh, this viral thing is trending. And so I'm trying to weed the thought process out of my own mind that it's like, oh, somebody else did that, I can't do it now. It's like, no, if I think I'm gonna have fun on the thing, I'm gonna do that. So just trying to work through my own like crappy headspace. All right, on. All right. Well, now I definitely have to. Michelle says, "Yep, they do word for word," and it's like used to that would get you like people would be like, "Oh, you did that." I don't know. It's just yeah. Oh, there's probably going to be similarities. There's only so many ways I can think of to make boots with fur, like, but I'm still gonna. Gotcha. So yeah, still pulling weeds from my mental garden. Some of them I didn't even know were growing there. Need to find the vintage Barbie that comes with the horse Dallas. If I find, I'll send it to you. You have seen them in the thrift stores. Okay. Nothing expensive though, because I'm probably gonna be cutting it up. Like, just to be honest, if it's sentimental or important. But because I think I might be able to make some of the armor and different components out of like epoxy clay and like really sculpt it, and I think that'd be pretty neat. Yeah, like wire wrapped arm bangles and stuff. Like, I'm gonna quit my day job of being whatever it is that I do. And I'm gonna go make Barbies. Mm-hmm. I can hear you sigh from in here, honey. What's the matter? Randy says, I'll get the wagon. I don't even know what that means, but I get the vibe. Mm. Do a row, have some snacks. There we go. And this part's always more fun because each row takes a shorter and shorter amount of time. Barbarians, yeah. Ooh, I've done the fake nose rings before. They're fun. Right on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, I'm gonna do it, my love. Oh, I'm here, but cooking sides for dinner and probably a pineapple upside down cake. Oh, that sounds so good. This coffee is so good. because I also wanted to use like the Avis clay or the epoxy sculpt by Smooth On, that both of which we have this stuff for. Oh, this feels so good. My hands are so cold. To make like a dryad Barbie where like her skin is tree bark. She's got like vines and flowers in her hair, and right. We'll figure something out. Michelle says coffee does sound good. I need to go get some. I'm trying to only have 2 mugs of coffee a day. And I'm also trying to not have coffee afternoon, but I figure on a live stream day, like, it'll be all right. I'll figure it out. If I do good the rest of the week, then hopefully it'll be all right to have coffee at 4 in the afternoon. I don't have any decaf or anything, but... Ooh, Triquetra says, I've seen some cool ones where someone's redid dolls into different goddesses. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. But like basically all the stuff that I'm a little too tired and don't have quite enough time to make a full me-sized costume out of, I kind of want to just do like where I use the Barbie as a core and then sculpt it onto the Barbie, and just kind of, if I don't know, I just want to do that and then probably still make the costume too. Oh, I really want to do that. Okay, it's fine. But can you imagine like some really finely woven scale mail on like a doll, and then it's okay. That's fair, honey. Randy just said he's not opening the rings, which is fair. Also be cool for someone who did commissions of costumes to make mini versions on dolls so people could see ideas of what they could make as a display that doesn't take up a bunch of space. That's what I'm talking about. Like, yes. Decaf is a joke. Oh no. Well, I'm still gonna try it. Going to start dinner not long. Made spaghetti sauce yesterday, so air fry some chicken cutlets and make chicken parmesan with noodles and broccoli. That sounds awesome. I think we're having tuna noodle goo for dinner. Oh man. Shell says, I have seen people change the precious moments into like goth or spooky or Halloween looking stuff. Nice. Nicole says, ooh, I recently did super fine silver chain, and was so proud of myself, but my God, was it ridiculously hard and tiny. I know what you mean though. Like, I do not enjoy weaving anything smaller than like a 20 gauge 1/8 inch. I'm like, if it's smaller than that, I'm like, this is gonna be awesome but really challenging. 515 East Coast. I follow a Facebook page. That's all they do. Nice. Oh, Trisella says tuna noodle goo. What on earth? Okay. So it's like if I were trying to make a tuna casserole, but I'm very, very lazy. It's canned tuna, canned cream of mushroom, canned peas. I put in a can of evaporated milk because it makes it like creamy. And then a little bit of water to kind of water everything down. And we cook tortellini noodles, and then we dump it into that fine slop, and then mix it. And then if we have time or if we feel like it, we'll put it in a casserole dish and we'll put it in the oven for like 30 minutes just to make it like hot together. And then I'm going to sneeze, but it's not here yet. And then we put Munster cheese on top. And then we eat it. Usually with crackers, because salty carbohydrates are some of my favorite things on the planet. But it's within my macros today, so Yes, baby. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna hear back from them. Really? Well, Randy's been waiting for a call back from the DMV all day. He has called almost every 30 minutes and still gets chunked to a voicemail. And after he left the first voicemail, it kind of feels like, what's the point of leaving another one? Tricella says, okay, Goo, it is, but sometimes easy just works. It does. Easy just works. Oh, big boy, I love you so much. I'll give you a piece of turkey. I'm such a pushover. Y'all want to eat the, watch this dog? Watch this dog eat some turkey. Oh, look at it. His little tail. Is that a tail wagging? No. He said, don't taunt me with the food, mother. Okay. I gotta plug this phone in. I just realized it is not plugged in. Don't micromanage me. Ooh, we're having grilled chicken, cheddar, broccoli, rice, and green beans. That sounds good, Esoterica. Okay, well, Z-Dog had a piece of turkey, so I'm going to have a piece of turkey. Nicole says, yeah, my husband was like, that's so cool. Also, just buy chain next time. And yes, that's probably what I'll do, but at least I know I can do it. That's fair. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, each row is going to go by faster and faster. And I do want to make sure that we're making as good of a closure as what we can, because there's no sense in doing something quickly if it's reducing the quality. Beanie Babies suit you. I'll send you a few. I got 100 for 25 years or more, so I'd be glad to share for free with you. Oh my gosh. That's a blast from the past. Beanie Babies. But no, whenever we were growing up, we called it tuna noodle goo, because Dad didn't even, like, he wouldn't, we're not preheating the oven for this. He'd cook it in the pot. Like, you make the noodles and then you slop the can of everything else in, and then you mix it up and make it hot, and then we'd eat that with like Ritz crackers crushed up on top. But Dad he really did a lot of one pot meals, and so those are like my comfort food. Wow. Tish says, I stood at Hallmark at 6 a.m. waiting on them things in 95 to 99. My goodness. Did you have like a favorite one? They didn't open till 8. Oh, Tish. That's devotion. All right, so that was our row of 7. We're going to go boop, 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 boop. What are all y'all's like favorite, like wholesome, like feel good meals? Feel good, easy meals. For Randy says rice and beans. We just ate rice and beans for like the last 3 days because it was like in our leftover cycle. And he's like, I'd do it again. Now, I think you're, and I'm not trying to start a fight, but can I ask you something and have you answer honestly? Do you prefer rice and beans the way that I've been making it, or do you prefer like when I do a pot of pinto beans and cornbread? Oh, really? Wow, right on. That's true. Do you want me to make some rice with it next time? Okay. Pinto and cornbread, right on. Black-eyed peas, ham and cornbread, nice. Triquetra says, my mom would make a depression meal that my great-grandma used to make her. Our family calls it tuna pea wiggle. You basically make a roux and add in some milk to get a basic white sauce, and you add in peas and tuna. It goes over toast or saltines. Right on. That's like, it's like the cousin to tuna noodle goo. But we put noodles in it. Why are you crying?
The snow's gone.
Yeah?
I don't know why I almost called it sand.
Well, it was the texture of sand for a while. It was just ice crystals. But why are you sad? Yeah, but I didn't think you liked the snow, baby.
It's not as bright outside anymore.
Oh my god. I think my sweet beloved is a little moody because I paid him zero attention today because he spent all morning upstairs while I was recording. And then we're here doing this. And so he's just over there swinging on the doorway going, like, poor sweet creature. And I miss him too. I think that's why I was grumpy earlier. Hey Heather. Well, welcome home. I love this color too. It's not as blue as what it looks on camera. It's more purple in real life, but I love both versions of it. Ooh, grandma's tomato soup with grilled cheese. Nice. Nicole says, honestly, I fridge goblin. Ooh, red lentil curry or vegan pozole. Nice. We call it baked bean stuff, where we cook hamburger meat with onions and add a can of baked beans with add ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar. Ooh, that does sound good. Black-eyed peas is my favorite bean. Baked mac and cheese is my favorite food. Nice. Uh-oh. It's okay. I've been sassy today because people beside my sweet boyfriend have successfully annoyed me. That's fair. Welcome to the craft room, where we talk about food and crafting. What up, baby?
I guess you'll need to email him again.
Ooh, I don't understand. Oh, yeah. Okay, you can have this last piece of turkey. I love you. Now go. This cheese is mine, though. I love you, but this is my cheese. Okay, you wore me down. Alright. Be going with you. Huh? Randy says my favorite 4 words. You wore me down. Dark Cat says, my mom used to make this casserole. You had me at casserole. When I was a kid, it had chicken, noodles, cheese, and broccoli with breadcrumbs on top. It was so good. Nice. Very nice. All right. Bye, Tish. Having a glass of wine needed after a long emotional day. I bet. Let's drink some water. Like, I know it sounds like the most ridiculous thing, but like, I never, grieving dehydrates you. So it, get some water in you. Ooh, Hannah says, not my favorite meal, but I'm very much craving a bowl of Fruit Loops right now. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm like, I would totally roll some like cream cheese into the Fruit Loops into like a log and then just like, and like, eat that. I don't know what I would smear it on. I'd probably just make a Fruit Loop cream cheese sandwich or something. I don't know. I'm hungry. And dehydrated. What are y'all's oddest cravings?
Why are we talking about food?
Because I'm hungry. I don't know. It's fun to talk about. I love talking about food. Y'all are making me hungry. Oh no! So I had to get some yogurt, blueberries, and pumpkin seeds. Any kind of goulash, nice. Ooh, crock pot stuff. Okay. Ooh, Kraft mac and cheese, nice. A few chicken breasts, and then on top of that, you throw in some chicken gravy, and top it with cooked stuffing. Okay. Bagels, cream cheese, and bagels is the current craving. Right on. Bagels. Randy just says, you ever done that, but replace the bagels with Pop-Tarts? I call it a sin sandwich, and I have not had one in at least 5 years. But I would take the chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts, and you toast them. And then you put, like, one whole side of it, I'd do marshmallow fluff. And then the other side, I'd do, like, half Nutella and half peanut butter. And then I'd squish it and go like that. And then it's all warm from, like, having toasted. But it's, like, around 1,300 calories, almost entirely from sugar. And that would be, like... whenever I wanted to do something self-destructive, I would have a sin sandwich. So... lurking while I make tacos. Tacos are current craving. Day 2 of tacos. Still not sick of them. Nice. To be truthful, I could live off of just banana milkshakes. We are stimulating our brain to produce dopamine. It is a proven fact that even speaking of food you enjoy, eating stimulates the part of the brain that produces dopamine. Yes! It's good for our brains, Z. All right, I'll give you some more cheese, but I'm going to have to change my calorie log. No more cheese. It's all gone. Ooh, I don't use flatbacks, but I've inherited a bunch. Anyone out there need any? What's a flatback? Ooh. Triquetra says, when I used to work at one of the large brand coffee shops, we used to put together all kinds of concoctions. But one that was super good was raisin cinnamon bagel topped with cream cheese, some sriracha sauce, and honey. Okay. Okay. You lost me and then brought me right back around. Oh, Nicole. Faux aloof. I like that. Oh no! Hannah says, okay, everyone continuing on about food made me actually get a bowl of cereal. You could add a little more. You've given your dog half your meal. Well, but he's such a good boy. Oops. Oh no. Okay, I can click undo. I deleted the wrong one. I'm so sorry, Michelle. You could... okay, I click and then I go like that. Sorry, I tried to do my own moderating and deleted the wrong comment. Michelle, are you still there? I'm sorry. Ooh, Triquetra says, I'm also really not a fan of spicy food at all, but the combo with the cream cheese and honey was so good. I love pepper jelly. I don't think I did. Wendy? Like, I clicked undo. Is she still there? You know those rhinestone things with no hole? Oh, okay. How big are they? All right, I need to get back to weaving. I'm here. Okay, excellent. The Michelle Koshman, I accidentally blocked her because Emporium Lex came in and without context started trying to like spam, like they're a cab spammer. Ooh, chopped and mashed. Okay. I'm so sorry though, Michelle. Let me see if I can get... Okay. Okay, excellent. I'm sorry. I'll stop trying to help. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we're getting so close. I've never met a potato I didn't like. I don't know, like fast food fries don't do it for me anymore. Look above. I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Yeah. No, that would totally keep me from eating more pepper jelly triquetra. What? Steak cut fries with chili and cheese? Oh, ow. You just made Randy make like a what? A walrus noise is how he just described it. Nicole says you would like our other cat then. Her nickname is Potato. And she is too. She is totally a potato. Me too, Potato. But I just hear Randy from the other room go, Itzy says I heard him groan. Oh my god. Okay, Heather says I need to make a scale mail sleeve for me, but I don't know where to start. Can you describe how you intend to be wearing the scale mail sleeve? Like as a way of demonstrating. I did not think about how I was going to secure this to my body whenever I started making it. And I thought that I'd be able to just put it on and lace it up down, the inside of my arm. And which only really works when I hold my arm like this, because the taper of my forearms, if I came down, it would just slide down like a sock that lost its elasticity. So what I would do now is I would put on like a glove or something, like a formal glove or some sort of shirt, and have like snaps or something that I can secure this to. So sometimes starting with the hardware that you're going to need to be able to wear it gives you a starting point. I hope that makes sense. Oh, thanks, Laura. I'm a silly goose is what I am, but I'm having fun. Ooh, hashtag Tater Nation. My Irish mom used to make the best mashed potatoes called champ with butter, cream, chives, and sometimes added peas. Also, mom's cabbage, chopped and mashed and cooked in a skillet with butter, salt, and pepper. I love cabbage. And same treatment with turnips and rutabagas. Super awesome comfort food. Right on. So what I'm weaving here, this diamond that I've woven, once it's finished, it'll be a diamond shape, is the size that I use for our basic shoulder caps, as well as the size that we use for our scale mail bikini, which is just like one diamond over each boob, basically. Ooh, refried mashed taters with cheese. How do you keep it, like, do you put some flour in it to make it stick together? I know you said you have other videos on scale mail, but do you have one with the arm piece? Not yet. I'm working on it because I don't really like the ones that are, we'll do one on our basic shoulder, but then we're going to be branching off from there because it's scale mail is just plain scale mail. Scale mail by itself is a little bit of a one-trick pony to me. I like scale mail paired with fabric or with leather or with something else to give it more shape and more dimension and like to get it to like so there's the scale mail with the shoulder piece and beyond just making it longer, it's I want to add like some leather to it. That way, you know, you can have some mobility and stuff. So we're going to start drifting off into that direction with our scale mail, I think. Chili topped with diced white onion, shredded cheese, sour cream, and green onion. Butter and cheese will melt in the taters. Nice. Right, Laura? I know what you mean. All right, we're doing 3. And now some folks will come through and they'll do additional rings on the edges to like stabilize the scales. I personally don't feel like that's necessary, and so I skip it and I'm able to charge less for my tops as a result. If somebody wants one with a finished edge, we just refer them to other sellers because I don't enjoy doing that part. And I honestly don't think it makes the edge really behave that much more. But I also make these to be jingly and jangly and loose and flowy. So I like the loosey-goosey ends. Ooh, Nicole says, have you seen the people who do the dragon scale gloves and tails? I think they knit or crochet them. They're pretty awesome. Our friend Katista does fantastic. I don't know if she's made tails, but she gifted Randy and I some of the scale mail gloves that I'm not certain, I think they're crocheted, but they're amazing. They're so high quality. Our nieces stole them from us, but I mean, I can't say no, and it gets them excited, but you know, about crafting and costuming and stuff. So it's, ooh, that sounds really good, Michelle. Michelle says, my hubs loves my mashed potatoes. I put butter, sour cream, cream cheese, and garlic, salt, and pepper. Oh, I haven't tried adding the cream cheese before. That's a good thinking. But I also like live for dairy products. Okay. So on these ones, what we do is you can kind of see how this is just like a basic shoulder cap. And we do a bit of stretchy scale mail there's a ring with a clasp on each end that'll be sitting right here, and it'll hook to this side and hook to this side. And we use like a big 1-inch lobster claw. It might just be a 1/2 inch, but it's big enough that it holds up. And I like that little bit of stretch because I want to be able to go like this and it not be uncomfortable or bite into my neck. And then we do a piece of elastic that goes under the armpit. Now, what I would do from here is honestly, I would go thrifting and find some sort of like t-shirt, like long sleeve t-shirt material, and just cut, like I'd buy it first, but I'd cut the arm sleeve off and use that to just slide up my arm on each side, and then like cut it to whatever length that I want, just because anything that provides a little bit of reduction to the chafing that you might be experiencing. But yeah, and then you could just extend it down and you'd whip stitch along the edges. So that's what we'll be doing the tutorial on. Like we'll take you to the thrift store with us and everything if I can't find something in my own stock. For the shoulders, we charge $100 for the basic shoulders, and that's this size, not extended down at all. Because if we were extending down, what I would have done is we would have been alternating 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, and then started the taper if you wanted it to like go all the way to your elbow or something. And then whenever we make these into a bikini top, we just thread inch wide, double-sided satin ribbon. Because I don't want there to be a shiny side and a dull side. I want both sides to be nice and shiny. It seems like a tiny detail, but it really, I've seen people's faces as they're shopping in my booth, and just the little micro expressions of like pleasure or dissatisfaction at when they feel the ribbon and it's got that dull side. It just seems like it's perceived as cheap. And so I'd rather pay a little bit more for the ribbon and have it be perceived as a luxury, like an upgrade. I don't want the worst thing about my work to be the ribbon it's tied with. Like, that's an easy way to like up my game. Oh, that's so pretty. But yeah, we'll tie a ribbon through here. This is the scale that we'd so I'm making the other side. We'd get to the row of 10. The 10th scale on that row would be this one. So that's the one that joins them. On this design, these two rings and these two rings are the ones that typically give out. So if I had them, I'd do those in stainless steel. But typically, this holds up perfectly well. And then we'd taper it back down, and then it just sits trying to, well, I need a larger size, but yeah, it sits kind of just like that, and then the ribbon would come up. Now, we actually sold one to a lady at Dragon Con who wore hers, and it was a full breastplate, but she wore it like this with like, and it like all came down, so it was like a gorget, I don't know, but it looked really cool on her. And so it's all about just making the scale mail, it's just draping it onto your body. Ah, right on, Michelle. I see you thinking. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I figure the way that I think about it with stuff like that, Nicole, is like I could make something at home more or less from scratch and have it be unhealthy, or I could go and like eat fast food, and it's like I'm not always making stuff like that. Like I know I used to, but it's, Randy and I are both still about 40 pounds down from where we started. So uh, the changes that we've been making, this mindset has helped with that, to be like, if I want to have something that's a comfort food, because I'm going to want comfort food. I am not a saint. Like, come on. I just make it at home. And then even if it's like homemade cookies, it still has almost half the sugar of store-bought like cookies or, the store-bought dough. So, oh, yes. So there's one. Shameless self-promotion. Here we have more of our jewelry that's for sale at backearthcreations.com. And this one we did a stainless steel half Persian 3-in-1 bezel and a hand-painted cabochon with a really cute little faceted crystal dangle. And it's got plated iron and stainless steel chain along the neckline. And then this one, Randy helped me on. He wove all the chainmail on this piece, and then I just kind of pieced it together. Some more aluminum. This is one of our Celtic Visions in blue. And I love the iridescent faceted bicones and that really beautiful blue teardrop. Right? Esoterica says that's why I'm making my pineapple upside down cake at home from scratch. I can control the ingredients that way. Yes. Like from scratch or using box mix, because I use box mix and I'll still be like, I made it from scratch. Whenever it comes to cakes, I'll do my cookies from scratch, but for cakes I'm just getting it in the box. And then this one here is a little faux skull with some jet black glass eyes. And Randy did the Byzantine chainmail on this one too. I really love this one as a circlet, you guys. Oh, I love it. It makes me feel so rambunctious. Everything's a circlet if you put it on your head. And then this was another one. Randy wanted to be able to show off a lot of the different colors that we had in our anodized aluminum. And so he made this very cool rainbow Byzantine with the larger, this is an 18 gauge 3/16, and then these are 16 gauge 5/16. These are the same size rings that we're using for our scale mail tops today. Oh, and then y'all, this is one of my favorites. So this is one of our home fused glass cabochons, and along the neckline there's citrine and Baltic amber along with these teeny tiny crystal bicones, and then some more glass beads along the neckline. But I just loved that inclusion of the amber. I love those warm colors. And then this next one might be one of my favorites. Like, I really like it. And it is a dyed howlite with a drilled kind of irregular Apache tear that I've wrapped like briolet style. But I just love it. And then two more, and then we'll get back to weaving. There's this one, which is another one of our fused glass pieces. And all of this stuff is up for sale, looking for a new home at backtoearthcreations.com. And be sure to have checked your emails if you're a channel member for a 20% off coupon. I just love making the beaded necklines and stuff too. And then this one y'all might be able to recognize from one of our tutorials, but it is a stretchy I made the lampwork glass beads, and I love it because in those, like in the science shows that I like to watch for when I'm going to bed, so they're like the History Channel ones or whatever, but whenever they talk about how the universe is expanding and they'll demonstrate how everything's just getting farther apart, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So that's what this necklace reminds me of. We have some stainless steel chain, and I also really like the inclusion of these square wire stainless steel rings. Aw, thank you, Angie. I'm really pleased with this week's shop update. Cat and Cauldron says, you mentioned you were happy with your chain from Panda Hall. Any chance you could let us know the part number for the chain you get? When I went to Panda Hall, I was overwhelmed by all the versions of each type of chain. I didn't know what to get. I don't know the item numbers. So far, I have only gotten their plated iron and their stainless steel. And all of them that I got in both of those types, I was very pleased with. Ooh! I've been a baker for 27 years, says Itzy. I've got to the stage where I don't want to make anything for myself anymore. Gotcha. Cake cookies. Ah! Esoterica says, I never use box mix. My day job is being a baker. Right on. Aw, thank you, Laura. And so far, I've only shown y'all half of the new stuff to the website. So if you are in a shopping mood or looking for something for a gift for yourself or somebody else, that's our website, backtoearthcreations.com. Back to weaving. Oh, Randy says Mother's Day. He went, Mother's Day. Oh, yes. I love him. All right, so now we're going to weave that same thing again. Starting with our open ring, slapping a scale on, and then a second scale, tummies together. Close that ring. I'm going to try to get this other top woven, like the other diamond, woven in just 1 hour. Which I don't know how I'm going to do because the first one took me 2 hours, but we'll see. And so I hook through and hook on and close. Oh, Laura says I was the goldsmith who never wore jewelry. Gotcha. You know, I have the couple of pieces that I wear. Most of the jewelry I wear was gifted to me, and then I've got 2 pieces that I wear that I made. But other than that, that's all I wear. I would like to indulge more in wearing and enjoying my own art. That's why I'm really glad to have started making our own tie-dye, which we have for sale as well. Hannah says, my parents have splurged on a Thermomix for Christmas, and Mom has been making a lot of homemade cakes the past few weeks. Right on. What's a Thermomix? Is that like a kind of like a bread machine, or how are you doing, Dancing Tree? Ah, Heather says, I love my tie-dyed tops you made. Oh, Heather, that makes me so happy. It really does. It was doing the tie-dye was something that Maddie that we started doing with Maddie. It had been in my heart and mind to try it, but it was Maddie's last. I just kept not getting to it. It was Maddie's last summer with us before she graduates high school, and we were asking her, we were like, if you were to be a part of our business and make something, and like, because she doesn't like stringing beads, and she does very good at chainmail, but she's not like excited about it. I'm like, what's something you would be like excited about? And she's like, what if we made tie-dye? Like, this isn't exactly how the conversation went, but this is the gist of what I'm remembering. Like, I might have suggested it to her to be like, what about tie-dye? Like, and she's like, but she went through and she picked out, like, we went on Dharma together, and it started by she was helping me do it, and we put together the second order together. So she picked all the cuts of tops, she picked all the colors, and like she made it all like in a spreadsheet, and it was very good. But I do think, if she decides that she wants to start a business and do something like that, she certainly has the skill and know-how to not be starting from scratch. And I think that's the only gift I can really think of to, if I could have given her that gift, that was my goal. And I think she took that and more away from, her experiences with us during the summer. Ooh, okay. Similar to a KitchenAid. Nice mixer then. Yes. Oh, those are such a handy tool to have, Hannah. Breathing and vertical. Right on, Dancing Tree. First order since reopening my shop came in last night. Ah, congratulations. Were your pieces when people comment on them? I tell them my friends at Factory of Creation made them. Oh, Mish. That tickles me pink. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. By laying the scales out first, I don't really need, I feel like I don't need to have, I don't need to be keeping as close track in my head, and that way my mind can kind of wander and stuff while we craft. I'm just unclustering my rings. remembering to breathe. I don't need to be holding my breath or holding on to tension. Like, I don't need my neck and shoulders to be super tense when I'm weaving. So if I notice myself getting clenched up, Ooh. Dark Cat says, I wore one of your tie-dyes in my last YouTube video. I always get comments on it in person, so I put a link to your shop in my description. I've been eyeing your amethyst dyes. Hopefully next month I can get one. Oh, Dark Cat, that's so cool. Could you email me a link to that video? I would love to see it. And I've given up on my subscription list on YouTube to actually show me, like, or to notify me. I'm just bad about, I never click on my subscription page. Wait. I thought I laid out enough. I must not have. Or maybe I boogered it up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh well. Add one more. There we are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I try to primp it and make sure everything's laying correctly before moving on. When I'd bead a complicated pattern, I used to lay out the beads until I knocked the tray over, and an hour's worth of work ended up a pile of teeny beads. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. There was a time back when Randy and I were still in our, was that the townhouse or in a townhouse apartment where the upstairs, like, it was a 2 bedrooms upstairs and then living room, kitchen on the downstairs. Honestly, I really liked that apartment. That was pretty good. I hated having to carry our booth up and down, like all that stuff, the stairs, but it was what it was. But the craft room had orange shag carpet, and we had Harvest Gold appliances. Oh, okay, my bad. This apartment had the green shag carpet. The orange shag carpet was one of the previous apartments that only had a single room. That's right. And we spilled one of our chainmail ring trays into said shag carpet. It was no longer safe to be barefoot in that room for like a while because it was our smaller rings. Randy says, legend says that there you can still find rings in that carpet to this day, because I'll bet that apartment complex still has that carpet. I don't know, they were supposed to have remodeled, but it was nice. It was a 2-bedroom townhouse for $350 a month. The dishwasher never worked. Nearly 20 years ago. But it was right in our budget. They let us have our dog and our cat. And we were able to make it work. It even got to where they let me dig up a little part of the yard to have a garden too. So that was really nice. Laura says, when you spill beads, you only need to put a stocking over the end of the vacuum hose. I can't imagine trying to get rings out of the carpet. It was just, it took all day. Both of us working on it. It was fine. Wow, really, First Man? No worries. I didn't think about it until I was editing, so I didn't mention it in the video, but hopefully it leads some people to you. Right on. Michelle says, oh no, shag? Yeah. Yeah. My aunt made and sold jewelry in the room she did. It had a shag carpet as well. And so under her desk was so many beads. I would sit down there and pick up a bunch of beads when I was little. That's awesome, though. But I love shag carpet, except for functioning around it at all. That's a really good question, Wanda. She says, if you put chainmail on clothing, could you launder it? If I were to put chainmail on clothing, I would not want to launder it just because the stress and tension that it's going to be going through the wash and through the tumble dry is just going to be tugging the metal against the fabric, as well as it might kind of I'd try to make the chainmail where it could be detached from the garment, either by like hooks or snaps or um something of that sort, or go the route of just kind of hand laundering. Because if I were to make like a chainmail shirt that's lined with fabric, I would turn it inside out and just use like the hose head attachment in my kitchen sink to just wash it like in the sink. Depending on the chainmail, if I'm using aluminum, I wouldn't have any problems with that. But if I were using like a mild steel or something, or a copper, I wouldn't want to use anything that's going to rust or patina. So I hope that that helps. Oh, honey. Yes. Uh-huh. I'm not saying no. Can we talk about this after the live stream? Randy's wearing me down on getting deli pizza from the Walmart, but it's because I need a couple of other groceries. Well, I don't need them, but it'd be nice to have a couple of other groceries as well. I don't know. We'll talk about it after the live stream. Still kind of looking forward to some tuna noodle goo, and I already have all the Munster cheese defrosted. Triquetra says, I think I need to get a set of plastic scales because I see myself wanting to swim in it like a beautiful barbarian mermaid. Now, the aluminum holds up wonderfully to both salt and chlorinated water. We haven't had any problems with it. The only thing is that it's metal, so it's a little heavy. But I wouldn't recommend it for like swimming laps, but for like hot tubbing, yeah, is good. Could sewn buttonholes be done to the fabric and then whip stitch the mailer piece on with a ribbon or something? Yeah, you could do that. It's all in how much. That's a really interesting idea. It's all in how convenient you want it to be able to detach it. And then it's just a matter of we're definitely going to have to do more scale mail attachment things. Hey, Wandy, could you bring me that dragon head and the baseball cap? Because there's something that I want to do that I think would be a whole lot of fun. And we had gotten from like this bodysuit for doing a Shinron cosplay. And that made me think that it's like, well, if I got this in a different color, but then just like drew on it with like, I don't know what kind of markers I would need to use. But I want to do a, thank you, baby. Like,
You didn't even notice.
what? Get the binder clips out of your beard, honey. That's, oh my God. You know what? See how many you can fit on there. He's just got, he goes, no. So I want to dress up like a dragon and like a dragon raver. And I think it'd be really cool. And I want it to be all like neon and big old like dragon horns and stuff. But I wanted to upgrade our dragon heads. And I really dug, hey, big boy. He got a little total boat hat on. This was one of the dragon Halloween decorations. And I'm going to use this instead of the goat head skull for the base of a dragon head. Because I was like, I just want it to be like right here. That way I can have like face paint and stuff on. There's room for the horns and like elf ears and like I don't know. I don't know what else. And then I was like, what if we just did a baseball cap? Which Randy was all like, he thought I looked cute with baseball caps on. So I was like, okay. But like whenever I wear like a low pony, it would just come through. But then I'm like, I'll need to trim this back and have like a solid black baseball cap, but then we'll attach that. And this gives us where we can have like larger horns and stuff. So it looks super dorky right now. I know. But I think we can make this work, you guys, because then I can sew on like hair wefts or something too, if or sculpt over this to make it look like scales or like do fabric or something. So this is going to be like a whole costume line that we're gonna that we're gonna work on. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about. And I want to do a bunch of scale mail on like sewn to the bodysuit, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have to figure out the best way to do that because I want to be able to like spin LED poi in this outfit. And so I want the headdress to be easy enough to just take on and off if I'm getting like rambunctious. Like I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But it feels very fun to just be thinking about it. All right, back to weaving. Actually, let me go stretch my legs real. Oh, Michelle says it's a great idea. I did that with my unicorn headpiece. Yeah. Do you have any tips for me, Michelle? I'm going to be right back because he is. You hear him sniffing with his little nose? He's haunting me over here. He's just looming. He's like, "Mother, give me your food." You can haunt me anytime, big boy. Mm. Yeah. All right. So now maybe Z can have some peace. Tish says, "I'm done. I love the way you think." One of the channels I follow does costumes and props for their haunted house. Ooh, and they make EVA foam helmets to hold some of their masks onto. So maybe you could make a baseball cap type situation with EVA foam so you can form it with the heat gun and stuff. Right? If I were making that just for myself, I would go that route. I was really hoping that if we went the baseball cap route, it has the adjustable and breathable element because I can make some odd costumes for Randy and I. Odd in the way that they attach because we're the ones who made it and we understand. But if we're making something for sale, I try to have it be as straightforward. Belt buckle closures work the way that you would expect a belt to. Button snap closures work the way you would expect them to make it very straightforward for whoever takes it home. Is the goal. It doesn't always work out like that, but that's the goal. I did trim the brim, but be careful because I'm not sure, but some are made with cardboard for the brim, so I had to adjust for that, but just crafted over the hat. Okay, right on. I'm hoping that if I remove some of that structure there on the baseball cap, that it won't compromise the integrity. But this was like a total boat resin hat that they sent with like one of our orders. And so I don't mind at all cutting it up. Like it's not sentimental and, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, we're so close to. We'll do the row of 9 and then we'll do the row where we bind these two together. Well, I don't know. Y'all, should we make the bikini top or should we just get done with the shoulders? Randy says bikini top. Okay, right on. I'll keep an eye out for it, Dark Cat. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know that y'all have to be busy and everything, and I know how sometimes how sending an email can seem such a small thing, but sometimes it's asking the world. So I really appreciate you sending me that email. Reinforce the brim along the soon-to-be edge before you trim it, and it should be fine. Okay. Tricotra says, I second the bikini top choice. Right on. Now, I don't know where I have my ribbon stowed, so we won't be able to put the ribbon on it today. But we'll figure something out. Grabbing another little pinch of rings. And I'm really curious to see how many tops, because we didn't use this pound of aluminum rings for anything else. It's just been for these tops. And so I'd like to see how many I can get out of a pound, and then we'll know how many we need, because I've set the production number for 2 in each color of the 3 designs. But and that way we can know how much we need to order. And the sooner we get that ordered, the sooner I can be grinding away on it. Y'all, I've started looking at a standing desk, and I think I found one that's going to work for in my space, because it's like my hip flexors. I just sit too much. And like it gets to where my hands don't hurt from crafting, my hips and back hurt from sitting. And so I'm like, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is going to be our connection row. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one kind of just fell into place, but that works. And then we're going to take this, and I place it directly next to it. Now, we had made one of these in the past that was very cute, but very uncomfortable to wear because it had like a scale flower. Because you can actually take this design and you can put a scale here. Like if you can kind of visualize where this ring, you can do a scale, and it kind of curves the whole thing in a little bit, but it was such a cute like thing. And we put it as like the centerpiece, but like, man, if you weren't standing like this, it was all like pokey in the boobies. So, but you don't have to make the tops the way that we make these. You can add in other elements and all sorts of different interesting things. Like I really like welded like 1-inch O-rings for here in the center. Like you can do all sorts of stuff. I jammed. What did we jam? Shoulder blades and neck seem like they would bother you after a while, just the angle you look down. Yeah, no, I'm chronically this part of here just hurts like all the time. But we'll be fine. Good thing those are not sharp, right? All right, so starting over at this end. But I was kind of wondering if anybody had any advice on standing desks. Like, should I just be diligent about like do they actually use them, or does it just stay down in sitting desk mode all the time? Like, because that's my fear. Because I don't need to be spending money on a new desk if I'm not going to be using it the way that I'd like to. Ooh, Michelle says, I got mine at the thrift store. They have shorter hats like that don't fit the whole head. Not sure how to explain, but that's how the hat I used. It was short. Okay. Ooh, Triquetra says, do what, babe? Like a visor? Maybe. Let's see. How many do you tend to use for a top? For me, I would go to 15 just because that gives me, I want complete like top and bottom coverage, but I also always make sure to wear something with longer sleeves underneath it. That way, right in the armpit bicep area, I don't want it chafing because I'm a very animated, like talking with my arms and stuff. Standing desk is a great idea. Okay, I was thinking so, but it's just, I don't want to be sitting all the time, like, especially because it hurts. Like, but even just like doing a 3 hour live stream, I'd love to, I could do this standing with y'all. Gotcha. Oh, excellent. I really appreciate y'all's feedback here. Give me a second. I'll start reading. I have both, and for some tasks, there's just no way I can work on that piece standing. Gotcha. Because I was looking at one, and it's a little bit wider than this, so it'd be able to fit into this spot, and I'd just kind of, because I'd need to put my monitor on it, and that way, if I want to bring it up taller, I'll scooch this up and scooch this out and bring it up, is the theory. Uh, woo. Cassili, hey Cassili, says, I have a standing desk at work and it is usually down in sitting position, but it is nice to be able to stand when I want to. Right on. Because, like, standing while video editing, I can 100% do that. Standing while, in fact, that would make it so much more fun because I'd actually be able to, like, I don't know, be a little more animated. Sitting down and sitting still is hard for me. Like, I like getting up and going and going and doing something else for a couple of minutes and then coming back and all right, I'm gonna finish this row and then catch up with comments because man, y'all are super helpful. Okay, so where I would be adding my 10th scale, I'll hook through here and just hook through, boom, there's our 10th scale. Okay, let's see. Okay, Michelle says that might work. Right on. Tricketcher says the only thing with standing desks is making sure you have any cords attached to stuff on the desk long enough so when it lifts, it doesn't pull anything to the floor. That's a very good tip. Thank you. We have an adjustable ones at work, and it's nice to be able to change positions. Right on, Mirth. Itzy says, I have chronic pain in my hips, lower back, knees, and elbows and wrists. Right on. I found a couple of hours stood and a couple sat, keep taking turns. Right on. Helps ease the pain. That's good. That's what I'm going for, truly, because it's like, but I sit constantly, and so my hip flexors are just, they're all short and grumpy. And First man says, glasswork, paper cutting, cricket work, and others I can work standing. Any jewelry work where I'm using my pendants drill, no way. Gotta sit on my buns. There's some things that it's like I need to be sitting to think, but there's some things that it's like, no, I can stand for this. So just having that option would be amazing. Ooh. Michelle says, I will take a pic of this thing Edwin got from his ergonomics class. It might work for your arms. I use it for gaming on my laptop and on my TV tray. Okay. Let's see. Standing desks are great, but it would have to raise high enough so that you're not constantly looking down at such a steep angle. That's a good point, Awaken. Think about where your shoulders would be at a jeweler's bench. Yeah. Hang at my knees. I have these. I wrap my legs over and they hang. I enjoy the vibration and hanging it gives me for 10 minutes 3 times a week. My legs are bad. Right down. That sounds awesome. I was just saying to Randy, I was like, I really wish I just had like one of those chair massage pads, but I could just like lay it on the bed and just like lay on it and be like, ah. Like, ah. Krista says, ooh, here, I'm trying to go in order so I don't miss anybody. Laura says, you have a chance to get a drafting table. You'll have a lot of horizontal space for all your stuff. What I'm using now is a drafting table. I had taken the edge off of it and I never like turn it at an angle, but I still have like the edge and screws set away. And I would love to be able to start using this as a drafting table again, or, it'll probably just float around the craft room wherever we need another surface. But the one that I found is a little shallower than this one, which is fine because I do not need all this space under here. If my work surface is too big, then I just put stuff on it and it'll live there. And then I now have a smaller work surface. I am 5'4". Oh, you're good, Michelle. And then Krista says, a good idea for a standing desk is a stand work table from like Home Depot or Lowe's. My spouse let me use his for my desk. Right on. No, this is something that Randy and I are going to be like saving up for. So I'm hoping to be able to get it like after Dragon Con or something. But I was going to try to splurge on one of the electric ones. That way I can just like, and it'll go up and I'll go like, and it'll go down. Yeah, pretty average height, I feel. I've never felt particularly tall or particularly short. So I get by. Helps my hips and legs. Lots of hardware, but enough of that. Standing desk sounds interesting. Right on. Dancing Tree says, my back hurts when I sit too long, but if I take a break, it might be days before I get back to whatever I was working on. Right? Like I need something that's hyperfixation friendly because that's when I get my work done. Oh man, Itsy says, I just got my fibromyalgia diagnosis waiting on the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Oh man. Crank it, get the exercise. Well, I'm worried about everything on my desk being like, blah, 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 like earthquake mode. I don't know. Are the crank ones good though? Because if the electric ones aren't much smoother, then I can just save the money. And the thing is that I'm not frustrated about it, but I could be if I let myself become frustrated. This didn't start until I started doing my baby steps and like getting more hip muscles and like doing weightlifting and stuff. So it's like I'm not where I'm going yet, but I'm definitely a lot farther along than what I was. And I didn't start having these shoulder and hip problems until I started building some muscle. And so it's like, that's fine because my knees and ankles don't hurt anymore. So that's good. But I think I'm just going to keep evolving in the aches and pains, but that's fine. Keeps it spicy. Laura says, I got a really tall drafting table from a newspaper when they closed their graphics department. I can sit or stand long enough with the tall adjustable chair I have. Now that's a really good thinking too. Definitely things to consider. Hey, Jenny. Jenny says, I splurged for a standing desk from FlexiSpot. I had tried a less expensive one off of Amazon and had all sorts of issues setting it up and took forever to get my refund processed. Right on. I haven't heard of FlexiSpot, but I'll check them out because I was looking on Amazon. So, Cat and Cauldron says, check Craigslist for standing desk base, then get an old door flat surfaced for the desktop. Okay. Now I'm limited to, I need it to be less than 46 inches wide because I'm not willing to rearrange my entire craft room again. And I want it to be able to fit right here, essentially. I don't know. I guess I could go a little wider, but again, it just runs into the, with that much space, I'd just have stuff on it. And I really need the table since this is where I do my editing, like, and crafting and recording and streaming. I need it to not grow too much stuff, too many piles. So it's a constant battle, but a smaller work surface is less surface to have to clean off. Ooh, Tish, I've been going to belly dance, and I think that's part of what's contributing to my problem is my muscles are sore, and then I sit like all freaking day. Um, and so I think I'm just having growing pains and adapting to a new lifestyle. But I do think a standing desk would help. I am interested. I'm going to look on Facebook Marketplace though, because if I can find for cheaper than what they're wanting to charge, that'd be cool. And I love a good excuse to get on Facebook Marketplace. Shoot, I love a bad excuse to get on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, right on. Yeah. Yeah, solid door. They have desk treadmills. Oh, I don't know if I could do this and walk. Then I'd be unstoppable. Facebook Marketplace for crap that's too big to sell on eBay. Yep. Crap that's too big. I love Facebook Marketplace. Because we found, and it was Michelle that had told me, she was like telling me about using dressers in her kitchen. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. So we got on Facebook Marketplace. And I found like the perfect wardrobe. Like, I'm going to go show you guys because I need to get up and walk anyways. Oops. So, oh, my old bones. All right. Oh, look at that doggy. Look at that doggy. I love that doggy. I'm showing everybody my dirty kitchen. But look at this. I found it. And do I show my mic on? Yeah. I found this on Facebook Marketplace, you guys. And it is beautiful. Like, I love the little, ooh, that's my favorite. It couldn't have been more perfect if I had, like, just manifested it into being. And it came, ignore the hula hoops, and we've been rearranging upstairs, but it came with one of those, and I keep it on wheels because that's the hole into our basement. But oh, I want to make a mold of this, like this motif, and then put it on our other cabinets. So kitchen's a mess. Welcome to my life. That's fine. Hey baby.
Dirty laundry.
Oh no, it's all full of, like, it's where I hide our bread so that we can't see it, so that we're not like, you want to eat some bread? And I'll be like, yeah, I want to eat some bread. So, yeah, kitchen's a mess. The dishwasher, the hose that attaches the hot water from the hot water line into the dishwasher is like the only 8 inches of pipe that's not PEX in the whole house, and it burst. So I was able to like remove the splicer and get it hard just jacked right into the hot water pipe. But so I'm gonna have to remember how to extract our dishwasher from the hole that it's in and replace that. And I'm really hoping that that's the only thing that's broken back there. I'm really worried about, like, I don't know if like the pan of the dishwasher might be cracked from freezing. We'll see. Triquetra says, I love wood furniture that is decorated like that. Right? I don't know why we stopped making beautiful furniture. I'm so bored with the plain stuff that is made now. Minimalism goes against everything. Like, I understand it, and I envy people who have like 5 things in their whole house and they can clean like in 2 minutes. My crow magpie soul is like, I want all the shiny things, and I'm very happy in my pigsty. But I love layers and layers and layers of detail. All I wanted was a piece of bread. Hey Tashers, how's it going? Michelle says, takes me hours to dust. Ooh, I found this trick that saves me a bunch of time, and I just don't dust. Now, I take that back. My vacuum cleaner has this like arrow head shaped attachment with like bristles, and I'll just put that onto the hose, and I've got like my headphones on, and I'll like kind of rub parts of the house with that part of the vacuum, and it like gets it kinda. That's the most dusting I do. Other than that, it's like if anybody sees it and they're like, ew, that's gross, I'll be like, there's rags under the sink. Help yourself. You can clean my house anytime. So, yeah, all that detail costs money, so they take the cheap route. Triquetcher says same. I'm such a maximalist, not a minimalist. A leaf blower works on dust, right? Well, vacuum, I went the and you know we've got that shop vac now. We usually use it for the turtles, but I think it's the same diameter. I think it's the same diameter as our house vacuum, but with more horsepower. Those bedroom slippers that are dust. Ew, no! Heather says I suck all my Texas dust off with my vacuum. Shuts them down. I had a Herman Miller one at work. It was smooth and you could set your height preferences. Okay, they're pricey, but they do sell refurbed products. Okay, Julia, that's good to know. You might find yourself belly dancing at this standy desk, that would be perfect. Like, that's my ideal life, is being able to just like not have a literal pain in my butt from sitting. Feather duster that has genuine ostrich feathers is fabulous. Those feathers hold on to the dust until you get outside and shake it. Okay. All full of taco and submitting to the good old food coma. How are you today? I'm pretty good. I'm debating. Randy has tempted me with a Walmart deli pizza, which is some of our favorite garbage. Michelle says Texas dust is the worst because you can dust over day and the next day it needs it again. Yeah. Yeah. When we lived at the campground, it was all cedar dust and gravel roads. So like between the tree pollen and the gravel from like people driving into the camp and stuff, it was just dusty. So that's just how we lived. But I'm trying to do better, mostly for allergies' sake. Okay. Y'all, I messed up. All right. Let's zoom in. Troubleshooting time. So there's something amiss here. It looked like I missed, yeah. I added in another one when I should have, I think, attached it to the previous layer. So when I goober up, I actually just like to remove all of the material that is complicated. Okay. So this was supposed to be a 10 row. So we've got that one. Or was it? Or was I doing the 9s? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we've removed the trouble spot. All the silver rings are laying how they should. Tish says Florida's sandy, but no snow, so I'll dust. Yeah. Tish says the chainmail would be a wonderful scarf for belly dancing. I love it. I want a belly dance scarf that holds up to a proper prolonged shimmy. And I think you only get that with handmade. And even then, shimmies are a force to be reckoned with. Sounds like a breakup. Just remove all the complicated material. Yeah. Itzy says, why is it so hard to draw an ear? I'm struggling. Oh, I don't know. Ears and hands are like legendarily difficult, aren't they? Kat says, I've been negotiating with the kitties to use their floofy tail to dust for extra treats. Nice. You know, we try to do at least weekly vacuuming, and so like if something's dusty enough that it bothers me when I see it, I'll just use like my shirt or something and wipe it. Like I'm such a fiend, y'all. But if I see it and I'm going to be vacuuming soon, I'll make sure to get it with the vacuum attachment. But I don't feel like I need my house to be spick and span clean. I just want it to not be like a health hazard if people who aren't used to this level of dust come into my home. Like, so We do keep generic allergy pills on hand, though, for whenever our friends come over who do have allergies. We're like, yeah, don't sit on anything till you've had an allergy pill. Ooh, Laura says ears. Ha! Once people understand that no two ears are alike, they're like alike. Burnt boast. Once people understand that no two ears are alike, they're a lot easier. Bye, Tish. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll see you around. I would rather shovel snow than dust, but don't like snow anymore. 30 plus years of snow, and yeah, I'm done. That's why we live in South Texas, but I hate the dusting. You know, it's my mom had it figured out. She paid somebody once every 2 weeks to just come and dust everything, dust and vacuum, because she was like, I'll maintain, but she's like, I don't feel like doing this, and they charge $50, and I was like, Mom's got it figured out. Hey, Amanda. Well, night night. Thanks for popping in and saying hey. Enter at your own risk. Yeah, basically. Lived in chic. I'm here for it. I'm rebranding that now. Okay. As you walk through the door, you have a shot ready for them. Yeah. It's like, do you prefer Benadryl or Claritin? Itzy says, oh my God, I'm glad I don't have to do his hands too. And thankfully, 1 year's in complete shadow. So it's only the one to get done. You've got this, Itzy. It doesn't got to be perfect. Just slap down some shapes and then move on to something else. You can always come back and refine it later. Lived in chic, faux show. Your creative things, they have a lot to look at other dust. Right? Yeah, I think that's why I'm a maximalist. Is because it's like, what dust? I didn't notice it. It's, because there's so much stuff everywhere. But nah, we dusty. It okay. That, and typically we rearrange everything at least once a year. And it gets like a good proper wipe down. I should probably clean more often. Oh well. I'm doing better than what I used to, and that's all I can hope for. Is just to keep doing a little bit better. Shell says, I'd feel so bad for them to pick up and dust all my stuff. I thought about it. I used to be a house cleaner, and yeah, that would make me upset to have to dust all this stuff if it wasn't my house. Right on. I get that. It's not dust, it's patina. Oh, I like that. Can't see the dust at our house because you're too busy looking at the overgrown plants and the dog hair. The dog hair. Yeah, we get little tumbleweeds of critter fur. You're saving for the Halloween season. Yep. The cobwebs for sure. But no, I try to keep an ear, like an introspective ear, to if I'm getting stressed out by my environment, because then it's like, okay, this is bothering me. I need to clean it. Sometimes it takes me a while to realize that that's where the tension's coming from, but I'm learning. Ooh, I was about to goober it up again. There we are. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done. We've got 20 minutes until the end of the stream, but I'm already on the decrease. That's exciting. She was like, no, we are doing all those people a favor by having chaos hives as homes. We make them look good. Tasha says, I was having this conversation with my mom the other day. We were musing how it was that some people had these perfect, could be sold that day homes. Meanwhile, in my little cluster of a house, well, I'm growing my organic spider webs for next Halloween. I like that. I don't know. I don't know. Home management is something that I strive to be skilled at. That way I can use the skills when I feel necessary, but I do not feel like I need to keep a certain level of pristine in my home. Like my sister, she'll kind of, if she can't see the vacuum lines on her carpet, she vacuums again. And I'm like, all right. But that's what makes her happy. So I'm like, okay, dokie. Crazy pants, but that's okay. No, that's just siblings, though. Stretching the shoulders. I deep clean dust maybe twice a year. In between, I hit it with a blown air or feather duster and put new filters in the air purifier. Right on. That sounds manageable. Like, that sounds super manageable. Triquetra says, we live at my boyfriend's family's house and all our stuff is required to stay in our room, which is fine, but that means my business, is also run out of our room. So yes, I have a lot of stuff, and his mom is the opposite of that. So I've heard that some comments of having so much stuff and it being a mess, which can be a bit upsetting to hear over and over, but oh well. Well, yeah. It's hard to fit a lot of stuff into one room, and if you're running a business, more often than not, you're gonna have a lot of stuff. Like, so it's I can't imagine not running the business out of the home, though. I love it so much being in with my things. I do admire and sometimes envy, my friends' houses who they just live there. So it's like kind of tidy and on purpose. But then I come home and I like being among the chaos of something's growing on that table, isn't it? And it's a project. But I can look at it and see and be like, oh yeah, it's all coming together. But things are happening on that table that might look like a pile of just random tomfoolery to someone else. Be the sibling that ran around behind the vacuum scuffing out the track marks. Oh, Laura. Oh no. Yeah, y'all still thinking about moving from there? I know you were talking about it last year. There's no way that we're going to be able to get a home loan this year. So we've kind of given ourselves 4 years of, if we can get our debt to income ratio figured out, and where the bank would give us a loan at all, and then saving up a nest egg, because we burnt through basically all of our savings this past year, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, we hope to move back to Tennessee to be closer to family, but it's also gotten to the point that we've got so much family here that in 4 years time, that's kind of the deadline, because Maddie will be out of college, and she is hoping to meet somebody and settle down and post college and start her career and family and stuff, and we really want to be where Maddie is. So I'd hate to move now, and in 4 years, what if she meets somebody from Missouri and she ends up, and so I don't know, there's no telling what the future holds. So we're just going to keep chugging along and saving, hopefully every little bit that we can, paying off our van, hopefully getting the business solidly afloat again. But in 4 years time, we will either stay in this house and take out a small loan to get it fixed up so that we can have enough we're still on a fuse box with 4 fuses and like knob and tube wiring. There's stuff that could really use to be upgraded about this house just to make it a little safer to live in. We might go that route. We might buy something in this area, land wise, to start developing a home on. It's just, we don't know. We don't know what the future holds, but it's not happening this year. But instead, we're going to go and visit family about 2 or 3 times, I think, over in Tennessee. Because honestly, we probably see them just as much living 9 hours away as what we would if we lived in the same town. Just because we've got friends who are in the same town that we only see a couple times a year. Which we're trying to do better about that. My New Year's resolution was to be more of a bother. So, and I've been trying to stick to it. So now we see them once a month, 2 for 2. We saw them once in January and once in February. Build a house on land that the bottom is business and the upper is living. Yeah, it's, can you rent this house out to fund your move elsewhere? Not without it being fixed up. Cat and Cauldron says, I much prefer creative chaos to a sterile, soulless environment. Yeah. And so we were really hoping to be able to move and then sell this house. That way we're not just floating in limbo. But I don't know. There's no telling what the future holds again. So until then, though, I'm very happy here. I feel so grateful that we have running water and that we do have electricity and that the furnace held out through all the cold. I'm very grateful that we've got enough room to have a garden. And regardless of what the future holds, I'm going to try to live at this house and with our business and everything, instead of constantly being pining for or whimsically daydreaming about, oh, if only, you know, we won the lottery and we do this, that, and the other. It's how much of that fantasy life can I bring into this reality that I'm in by, you know, I don't have to be on my dreamland 200 acres to enjoy being out in the garden playing with my chickens. A few details would be different if we won the lottery and had all that land, but playing with my chickens is still going to be playing with my chickens. So I try to not let my daydreaming of the future or alternate potential realities diminish my current joy that I'm extracting from this life, because I'm practicing now for when we do win the lottery and have the 200 acres. Because if I can't be as happy as I can possibly be here, all that other stuff that money buys isn't going to make me any happier. You know, so we're working on our health. We're working on our work-life balance and things like that. And that way, when we win the lottery or save up the money or find the perfect land or whatever, we're already in the practice of taking care of the things that matter to us, taking care of our home. I need to be good about taking care of my home, whether it's this house with all of its quirks or whether it's something that we've built that every little detail is perfect about it. I need to show this house the same love, so I'm in the practice of taking care of our dream home. And honestly, I've been approaching it that way increasingly over the past 2 years since we started doing our mega rearranges. And it's really helped that I love this house. Like, I'm loving this house even when I don't like it. Like, whenever the pipes are frozen, I still, you know, we try our best to take care of it. Ooh. Oh my God, my friend moved near me, only a 30-minute walk. I haven't seen her in over a year. She works and I don't like going out. That's fair. It's dig a tunnel to her house. Oh, Vaughn, I love that philosophy. I'm going to adopt that for my house and situation here now. No, straight up, because it's like, to look back at my older live streams, I'm like, I don't know how he lived like that. Like, there was no organization. It was chaos, but so much of what we were working for. And honest to goodness, in hindsight, I do it all again the exact same way because it's what we really felt like we needed to do at that time. So I'm not dissing on past me, but when it occurred to me that it's like, if I don't know how to manage and maintain a quarter acre, how in the hell am I going to do this on 200 or 20 or 10 or 2? Like, you know, I need to be able to keep this ship afloat before upsizing. So, and again, it helped get my mindset right, and it helps me to be happy in the now. And right now is all we have, really. Everything else is either a memory or a regret or a hope or a fear. Tasher says, hey Vaughn, curious question. If you won the lottery, do you think you'd continue BTech on any level? Like maybe just on it for your enjoyment level? Oh, hell yeah. Do you want to know what my newest lottery dream is? Because I'm going to tell you, even if you don't want to know. We want a campground that is basically Echo Bluff. So it's on a river. So there's some other natural body of water. or hell, I'd build a lake. I don't care. This is lottery dreams. So we can do whatever we want with the, in the world of fantasy. Um, and we would just host monthly camp along craft conferences and flow festivals. And we would have other events could rent our venue space, because we'd have like a big lodge. We'd have like the commercial kitchen and stuff where everything could be like, think like a Girl Scout camp, but for like adult crafters. So, um, and just all of those facilities. We'd have primitive camping, we'd have RV hookups, we'd have cabins, we'd have like a little like motel strip. Um, and it's just because I do like traveling, but I don't want to have to travel all of the time. We would probably go and do something like once every 3 months in a different venue, like in a different state and stuff. Like, but that's what I want to do with my life. Is I want to have my garden and my farm and my campground, and then once a month, all of our friends from the internet can come over and we can set stuff on fire and craft and like eat tomatoes or something. I don't know, like just hang out. And yeah, I think that'd be really cool. So I would 100% still do this. I would just hire someone to do all of my editing, because and social media. I would outsource that stuff immediately. But other than that, yeah, no, it's again trying to make the life that I'm currently living as close to being my dream life as possible. With just, if the only difference is I just need more money, then I'm doing it as right as I could. It's like, so I'm trying to get all those finer details that money can't buy right. I'm trying to be better about nurturing the friendships with the people that I have, who I love and admire and want to be around. I'm trying to do better about building my resilience and tolerance for frustration and figuring my own self out. That way, I just am a little bit more stable for launching off into new opportunities and dreams and stuff. So it is not perfect, but I like being in this state of mind even when it's not going well. Like if I'm having like a bad day or something. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The biggest thing has been making sure to take care of our health, because I'm like, there's nothing in this world right now that I could spend money on that's going to help my health more than me just eating right and exercising more. Because that was another thing, is even if it's like, well, what if we only small time won the lottery and we wanted to like go and travel or something? I wanted to be able to keep up with going out and having adventures. Like I had gotten really dangerously sedentary and was losing my ability to, like at our last camp along, when I didn't go hiking to go see the caves because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to make it. Like I was like, I need to get my shit together. 5 minutes. Oh no! Oh, I got it much into the gabbing. Let me see if I can get this woven. But yeah, I'd still do live streams. I'd still do tutorials. I would probably go full Tiger King. I'm not gonna lie. And just have like a 24/7 live stream of some poor like camera person being like, "Can I go home?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not done talking." It's just, it would be a nightmare. It's probably for the best I don't win the lottery. It'd buy me a whole new set of problems, that's for sure. Nah, I'd just buy a robot to follow me around. Like a robot butler on The Sims. Vaughn wants a park with a cave, and she will do artwork in the cave. Yeah. Beep boop. Oh, Randy, I love you. Excellent. If I won the lottery is my favorite game. Randy and I have spent many an hour on the car rides to conventions and back. having lottery dreams. Like we wanted a lot of property because Randy really wants, and I do too, to put a bunch of statues, like Narnia style. Whenever it's not the Snow Queen. I'm losing nerd points hard on this. Whenever not Aslan turns people to stone, and it just looks like they're just chilling, but they're made out of rock. Huh? Is she just the Winter Queen? Okay. It has been a really long time. Do you want to rewatch all of our favorite old movies? Watch it. We have a lot of scale mail to weave. I don't have. But we could listen to the audiobooks. But just paths through the woods and like just statues that we bought or sculpted, or it started as buying, but now we want to sculpt them. Jadis the White Witch. Yes. So there's an easy math way to figure out how many scales you need for a top. Do you just add 2 to each row? Well, this row took 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9, and then 10. So whatever that is. And then back down. I don't know. I just count them. Beep boop. Yeah. I'd watch it. That's the Tiger King I'm here for, right? 24 Vaughn all day, all hours. Yeah. No, especially if we got that $16 an hour kick. I think I just heard Randy say my crocodiles are on fire. What, honey? Did he just say? No, we're gonna have to rewatch the Tiger King. It was literally like 5 years ago. Oh, they did set his crocodiles on fire, didn't they? That's rough. What a wild Jiminy Christmas. Dancing Tree says, when I get down about my circumstances, I remind myself I'm living someone's dream. Yeah. And the thing is I'm glad I keep older journals because we dreamed of this. The same things that make us feel a little trapped now with this house and sometimes even with the business. And, we used to dream of this. And so I try to remind myself that if something's not a good fit anymore, it's okay to change it. That's not failure. Sometimes we have to let go of what was most important to make room for what will be. And that's very difficult for me. I like things to be the same. But I also like chaos and growth. So, wee. Crocodiles on a stick. I've eaten crocodile. Or was it alligator? Either way, I'd eat it again. It was good. You could be under a bridge if you're lucky. Yeah, for sure. No, and I used to live in tents as a kid before to call it a cabin was pretty generous, but it kept the rain off. But we didn't have running water. And it was a lot of fun at the time. I really enjoyed it. But in hindsight, it's very nice to not have to carry the dishes to the bathhouse to wash dishes or shower or use the restroom. Or ooh, ostrich is good too. I've had ostrich eggs, but not ostrich meat. I'm so close. What last scale? The dream changes. It would not be a dream if it didn't change. That's true. Boom. All right, I'm going to take this microphone off. And then we're going to go like this. Boop. So, yeah, it's a little small I'd want the top of mine to start here. And if we added like 5 more rings, that would add a little bit more of the coverage. But if we brought in one of the mannequins that's a little bit more petite, it would look more appropriate. But yeah, so that's one of our scale bikini tops. And this is the smallest size that we carry. We'll also make it to where it like fills in that center area. And if we're able to meet our production on, so like for the scales in the purple, I want 2 like this. I want 2 where this center part is filled in so that it's our scale mail breastplate. And then I want 2 sets of the scale shoulders that on a more petite person look much more substantial. I've got pretty beefy arms, so I'd do longer on mine just because I like to have covered at least to there, just so that it looks like it's sized correctly. So, because that's the thing with this stuff is I'm not trying to be the right size for this. I'm trying to make this the right size for me. But once we do all of those, then I will do an extra large or just a large size. That is, if this one is 19 scales across from far edge to far edge, for my size, I would have it be 29 scales across would be the next size up. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. That's a very nice booby cover. Yep. And if you pet it, oh my God, if you pet it, it's like petting a dragon. Oh, it's so nice. Well, I can only imagine. It tastes like very rich turkey. So, can't wait to cover my boobies with scale mail someday. Yeah, pretty much. Now, I do recommend a structure and support bra for underneath it. But what I would do is I would take, I don't have any bras down here, but well, hi Z-Dog. We can pretend like this is a boob real quick. It's just a baseball cap, but we can pretend. So if this were a bra and this is the top edge of the bra, that's not a nipple. That's where the strap would attach. I would whip stitch through the scales to attach this to the bra cup. And I would do that on both sides. And that way you could wear, like, I like a push-up bra with nice broad straps and like the 3 to 4 hooks in the back, just to keep everything where everything needs to be. But you can also attach these to overbust corsets, which I think looks very cool. And yeah, Triquetra says, I will 100% need a bra for under it for sure, for multiple reasons. Yeah. And it's just, that can get really uncomfortable. So even whenever like we used to sell a lot to folks who went to like raves and festivals. And so they wouldn't be planning on wearing a whole lot of fabric. But I'm like, if you're going to be dancing and stuff, just put on a string bikini kind of, and you can thread the string bikini string through here. But that way it just gives some sort of lining. That way, especially if you have piercings or something, that can get really complicated really quick. So yeah. I love making them. I love the whole fantasy realm of costumes and different things. All right, let me catch up on comments. I think it's gorgeous and I've enjoyed watching you make it, plus all the fun chat. Aw, thank you, Laura. I've really enjoyed myself hanging out today, you guys. I feel super creative and excited about other projects. And then Cassili says, I made myself some scale mail gauntlets for Renfest and I pet them all the time when I'm wearing them. Ooh. Yep, that's one of the reasons I'd need a bra. Yep. Aw, thank you for the follow. Well, as you should always ask first. I've had such a great time hanging out with y'all. We will see you guys again on Friday. We have another live stream. Well, we have a premiere at 3 p.m. and that's going to be a tutorial, and then we're going to have a live stream. I don't know if it's going to be 3 to 6 the way that this past Friday's was, or if it will be 7 to 9. A lot of that has to do with if the hoop that Randy got me as our anniversary present if that shows up, because I'm definitely going to be dancing with that. But we might just do another craft stream if that hasn't shown up, because my poi are dead and my hoop is dead. So I was, But I'm going to do a wind down now. So bye, everyone. Bye, Hannah. Thanks so much for hanging out. Well, yay, new hoop. I know. And the box that the new hoop comes in, I'm going to be putting my old hoop in and sending it back to them. So then I'm going to have 2 glow hoops. So I'm very, very excited about that. They're like an inch difference in size, though. But we'll figure it out. Oh, thank you, you guys. Yeah, we celebrated 20 years on the 20th. The pipes were frozen, so we didn't have any hot or cold water, and the tub drain was frozen shut. And we baked a lasagna, and we ate an entire loaf of garlic bread. We partied like wild animals. Yeah, I'll see y'all on Friday, you guys. Happy craft. Huh? Randy says anniversary carbs don't count. I think this is going to be comfortable enough. It's going to be quite heavy once it has all the sculpting and horns on it. I think I'm going to put like a 3-pound weight on my head and just like wear this around and feel if it distributes the weight okay. Okay. Bye, everybody. Happy crafting. You press the button. Okay. I feel like what's that Pokemon?